Here's the 2-0, a third high fastball, 3-0. Oh, by the way, Tommy Lawrence has only won his last 7 starts. His last loss came back on July 22nd at Lancaster. It's been almost a month and a half since Lawrence has lost a ball game. 4 straight high fastballs to Powell. Puts the leadoff man aboard for Gastonia. For the Rockers today, it's the white pants, white jerseys. Rockers across the front. And blue numbering for Gastonia. It's the gray pants, gray jerseys. Black lettering across the front with a gold trim. And same sequence on the back with the number, black numbering and gold trim. There's a strike. The inside corner to Ryan Jackson. The count 0-1.
As a reminder, first pitch time and weather brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line. ODFL, helping the world keep promises.
Comes the pitch, popped up, first base side, up out of play. And the count 0-2 to Jackson. The Gastonia Honey Hunters have been very active between trades and picking players up recently. A lot of guys on their team were not there even a couple of weeks ago. Check over to first base on Powell. He's back in safely. Ryan Jackson, of course, picked up from the Ducks. The man on deck, Alexi Amarista, was in Mexico until 2 days ago. Jake Romanski, the catcher in the 9 spot in the lineup, was just traded for earlier today. Here comes the 0-2. That's a changeup downstairs, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boot Powell at first base. He's got quite the bit of speed. 29 steals in 31 attempts. He's 9 out of 11 against High Point, which is why Tommy Lawrence is paying him some attention. Checks over to first base again. Powell back safely.
Also, what it tells you is Mike Golino and Stuart Levy are the 2 best guys at getting him out. The only guys who have done it.
Here comes the 1-2. Fastball inside, and the count 2-2. It's funny, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, absolutely.
Got nabbed 2 weeks back by Mike Golino, and then earlier in the year by Stuart Levy.
Here comes the 2-2. That'll come after another check over to first base on Powell. Home plate umpire tonight, Jason Johnson. Julius Green down the first base side, and the third base umpire is Owen Ballard, the 4th tonight. Field is already almost exclusively in shadow. Runner goes. Here's the 2-2. Fastball away. There is no throw. So Powell will swipe second. His 30th of the year. He's in second place in the Atlantic League. He only trails first place by 25 steals. If you missed the news on the pregame show, that man, Mr. Darian Sanford, was traded earlier today from York to Lexington. Lexington was a busy, busy team today. Here comes a 3-2 to Jackson. Lawrence delivers down low, ball 4, so back-to-back walks for Tommy Lawrence to start his afternoon. This is kind of uncharacteristic for Tommy. Not a guy who walks a whole lot of hitters. In fact, he hasn't walked 2 in a start since back on August the 3rd against Lexington.
Something just kind of seems off in the first inning with the Warrens. That fastball isn't quite getting to the plate like it does, and the slider doesn't have enough oomph on it on the back.
Brings up Alexi Amarista. Left-handed hitter. Lawrence holds the set and delivers first pitch. Looks like a slider catches the zone there, and the count 0-1. In the big leagues with the Angels, Padres, and Rockies, Amarista was a .231 hitter, 21 career home runs, but things have really changed since he has joined the Atlantic League. The 0-1 swung on and smacked into right field, base hit. They're going to put the brakes on. Powell has to hold at third. A strong throw in from Jay Gonzalez, and that'll load the bases for Gastonia. Nobody out in the first inning. We'll go ahead and set the Rockers defense.
Jared Mitchell in left. Center field is Johnny Field. Big Gonzalez patrols right, third to first around the infield. Steven Cardullo, Giovanni Alfonso, J.R. DiSarcina, and Jerry Downs. Stuart Levy behind home plate.
Well, the hitter is Mike Osinski. 361, 11 home runs, 57 batted in. This might be the most trouble that Lawrence has found himself in the first inning all year. First pitch, fastball. That's upstairs in the count 1-0. Mike Osinski in the second half this year is hitting 376. He was up over 300 in the first half too, but he's turned it up even another notch in the second half. The 1-0 fastball hit high in the air to right field. Looks like it's going to be foul, but will Gonzalez have a play on it? He does not. It gets out of play, count 1-1. Now the big thing for the Rockers here, you can give up a run or two, but you can't let this turn into a big inning.
It's like the same thing as we saw and talked about on Sunday. Check that Monday with Craig Stem. You don't want the big inning in the first because then you get yourself in a deep hole.
The 1-1 coming here from Lawrence. High fastball, and the count 2-1. The other thing that's kind of uncharacteristic is he's falling behind hitters. Usually Lawrence is a guy who just pounds the zone. Even though he doesn't get a whole lot of strikeouts, he'll make you swing early because of how many strikes he throws. Not happening so far in the first inning. The 2-1, there's a high fastball, fouled back to the net, the count 2-2. Osinski steps back into the right-handed box. Bases are full of honey hunters. And here comes the 2-2. Lawrence with the slide step, fastball, fouled up out of play, and the count stays 2-2. Well, the Rockers have won 5 out of their last 6 against Gastonia. And in 5 of the last 6, the winning team scored double digits. This is becoming a series where it's blow out or be blown out, basically, between the two. Here comes a 2-2 to Osinski. Another fastball fouled off at the top of the zone. That's 3 straight pitches almost in the same location. All 3 of them with the same result. Yeah, the fact the last game these two teams played, 17-6 High Point. Rockers have won 5 consecutive. Listen to these run totals: 16, 10, 14, 6, and 17. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Change up down low, got Osinski. Tommy Lawrence can breathe a sigh of relief as he's got the first out of the ballgame.
That is an extremely important out. And a great pitch by Lawrence to put him away. Lengthy at bat, puts him away with the pitch down low, and now you kind of get yourself in a situation where you can just get a ground ball in the infield, and that probably gets you 2.
It's good infield behind him. Rockers have been very adept at turning the double play this year. Jason Rogers, the batter, playing first base tonight, 289 on the year, 15 home runs and 54 batted in. He takes a fastball at the knees, strike 1. Rogers also spent some time in Mexico. That stint did not go well for him. Barely was up over 100 in the batting average department. It's a very welcome return for Rogers back to the Atlantic League. He's hit 327 since coming back. Fastball low, and the count is 1-1. Not only that, but since August, he's hit 9 home runs. 9 of his 15 home runs have come basically in a month and a week. Lawrence comes set, ready to deliver the 1-1 to Rogers. Bases still loaded. Here's the pitch. That's down low. Tried to get Rogers to chase. He did not. The count 2-1. We talked about it a little bit in the West Virginia series, the Power are a team that will not chase a whole lot out of the zone. Gastonia usually does. Osinski chased for strike 3 just a few moments ago.
That's where the
I was just going to say, Rogers may be the one exception on this team. As he pops this one up, foul territory, gets out of play, count 2-2. He's the one guy I think that probably has the best plate discipline on this team.
That's where that slider from Lawrence becomes so important, because you can use it to expand that zone to righties and throw it off that back foot of lefties.
Rogers adjusting the off-white batting gloves. Powell the runner at third base. Jackson at second. Amarista at first. The 2-2. Fastball lined into left field. That'll get down, a base hit in front of Mitchell. Powell comes around. He scores. They're waving around Jackson. He scores. Amarista holds at second base, and it's a 2-run single for Jason Rogers. Gastonia with a 2-0 lead.
Now batting the designated hitter.
Both hits for the Honey Hunters have been hit hard. One to right field, one to left field.
It's a little different than yesterday, where Craig Stem got blooped to death in the first inning. This is just a lot of hard contact by Gastonia.
Brings up Mike Pappy, the designated hitter. 251, 14 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Has struggled a little bit against the Rockers this year, hitting at just 185. Timeout called at the plate as Tommy Lawrence is paying lots of attention to Amarista at second base. Well, the Honey Hunters are coming off a weekend where they split the series with Lexington. They lost the first 2, won the next 2, so looking to make it 3 in a row. Rockers are trying to avoid 3 losses in a row. Fastball down low, ball 1. The throw down to second, not in time for Amarista. In the count 1-0. To let you kind of get an idea of just how extreme the swings are for Gastonia. On Saturday, they lost 17-11. They turned around to win 15-8 the next day. Give up 17 and then score 15. Fastball inside. Nope, caught the inside corner. Count 1-1 to Pappy. Austin Glorious and William Kerwin both gave up 7 runs in the first and second game. Neither one got out of the third inning. A.J. Merkel, a nice outing yesterday. 2 runs in 5 innings. The 1-1. Changeup catches the inside part of the zone, and the count 1-2. Well, I guess we couldn't expect Tommy Lawrence to be picture perfect every single time out. We have been very much spoiled by his performances the last 7 starts.
Here's the thing, though. When you have the bases loaded and nobody out, the average run expectancy is somewhere around 2.5. So if he gets down to this allowing 2, it's not bad at all.
No, absolutely not. And not only that, but having to do it against Pappy and most likely Joshua Saleh behind him, maybe gives you a little confidence back and start the next inning on a roll. Comes the 1-2. Curveball popped up a mile high in the infield. First base, Jerry Downs is there, makes the catch. In foul territory, that's out number 2. Brings up Joshua Saleh. Well, we've talked about Saleh's numbers before. They are something. 270 is the average, which that's in itself is impressive considering he spent the large portion of the first half in the 240s.
He's got it up about the past 2 weeks or so. He's been on the up and up.
When you put that with the fact that he's leading the league with 29 home runs and 81 RBIs, and he's turned into a monster in this lineup. First pitch, curveball away, and the count 1-0. Does it all without wearing batting gloves.
And he does it all without having played professional baseball in 6 years, which is the craziest part of the whole thing.
Another very unique part of this whole scenario is the fact that he's the best run producer in the league. Here's the pitch, fouled off, and the count is 0-2. Best run producer in the league, but he bats 7th in the lineup, and that just goes to show you how deep this lineup is, and the fact that all the guys in front of him can get on base with high regularity, and there are plenty of opportunities for Saleh to drive them in. And
smacking Skoll and Saleh 7-8 in this order is just unfair. It almost balances out the pitching staff.
Here comes an 0-2. Lawrence slide step, slider down, tries to get Saleh to chase, but he does not. The count 1-2. I'll tell you what, Amarista, who is not crazy in terms of speed threats, reminds me a little bit of what we used to see Edwin Arroyo do when he got on base. He would dance around and just drive pitchers insane, although ultimately he didn't steal that much. Another slider down and in to Saleh, the count 2-2. Sometimes those guys that just play mind games with the pitchers go a long, long way. Here comes the 2-2 to Saleh. Fastball. And that's strike 3 looking. Saleh goes down. And all things considered, Tommy Lawrence does a nice job getting out of the first inning. 2 runs come in on the Jason Rogers single. Rockers trail 2-0. Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York.
Put your hands together and cheer along as they make their way around the field. For all of your lawn equipment needs, be sure to visit St. Paul Equipment for Lexington, North Carolina. Rockers fans, make some noise for Honey. This dynamic space serves as a perfect representation of the city's vision for true rights. We invite you to send your songs from the horizons of May ahead, from weddings to corporate events, birthday parties, and more. Alongside catering, lighting, and high attention to detail, we look forward to everything you do to ensure your vision becomes reality.
Bottom of the first inning, the Honey Hunters scored 2 in the top of the frame to get the scoring started. The lineup for the Rockers again is Field, Mitchell, Lattimore, Downs, Cardulo, Gonzalez, Alfonso, Levy, and D. Sarcina. They'll be facing Sam Burton today for the Gastonia Honey Hunters. Sam Burton on the year, 3-7, 8.65 the ERA, split between Gastonia and Southern Maryland. 54 strikeouts, 52 walks, 78 innings pitched this year. Home run ball has also been a bit of an issue for him. He's given up 17 home runs this year, although he's pitched 3 straight starts without having surrendered one. Fastball, strike 1 to Johnny Field. One thing, though, that we've learned, 2-run deficit the Rockers have right now, that can go away in an instant in these series. That pitch down low and the count 1-1 to Field. Johnny Field, 284, 10 home runs, 43 batted in. This is not the first time the Rockers have seen Sam Burton this year. Field swings and a hot chopper to third base. Nice in-between hop on the side, scooped up by Osinski, throws on to first in time. The first out of the inning, it will set the Gastonia defense.
Joshua Saleh in left, Powell in center, Jake Skoll in right. First to third around the infield, Jake Rogers, Alexei Amarista, Ryan Jackson at short, Mike Osinski at third, and Jake Romansky behind home plate.
Jared Mitchell stepping up to the plate from the left-handed side, 241, 13 home runs, 59 batted in. Mitchell is a guy who finds himself 1 RBI short of 60. Hitting a solo home run yesterday. Takes a fastball, nope, it stayed outside, looked like a strike. Burton didn't get the call, count 1-0. So as a member of Southern Maryland, we saw Burton back on the 20th of June. Gave up 7 runs in 4 1/3 innings. Mitchell lofts this one up out of play. Count is 1-1. And again, as a member of Southern Maryland, the Rockers saw him in Southern Maryland July 23rd. Gave up 5 runs in 6 innings, and then his last start of the year was against the Rockers. That was on September 2nd. Gave up 7 runs in 4 innings. So Rockers have thumped him to a pretty good tune this year. Fastball upstairs, 2-1.
Problem for Burton all year has just been pretty much what happened to Tommy Lawrence in the first inning. The inability to find the zone, and when you do, you get hit hard.
Fastball stays just away to Mitchell, and the count 3-1. And the good thing for Jared Mitchell, despite the high strikeout numbers, the on-base percentage is very good. That's why he's been able to be a good substitute in the number 2 spot in the lineup. He swings, hits this one high and deep into center field. Powell going back to the wall, makes the catch. What a play from Boog Powell. Jared Mitchell gave it a ride, but unfortunately, he picked the deepest part of the ballpark to hit it to.
Now batting the DH, number 22, Quincy Lattimore.
It's the second out of the inning. Can't have much louder of an out than that one. Here comes Quincy Lattimore now.
That's just the nature of the ballpark. Nothing really seems to get out if you hit it into the power alleys unless you really get into it.
First pitch to Lattimore, changeup strike, and the count is 0-1. And the other unfortunate thing is Boog Powell is one of the fastest center fielders you'll find. So normally, as Lattimore hits this one high in the air to center, Powell going back, so is Saleh. Powell at the wall, makes the catch. Well, Jared Mitchell went to the right center power alley, and Quincy Lattimore goes to the left center power alley. Rockers hit a couple of hard ones. They go down 1-2-3. We go to the top of the second inning. Gastonia leads it 2-0. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Trivia question of the night. We need your help cheering them on as they put their talent to the test. Let's throw it down to Shane and meet our contestant.
Okay, Rockers Nation, I am here with my friend Eden, and she is going to name as many ice cream flavors as you possibly can in 20 seconds. Go. Banana, vanilla, strawberries, chocolate, chocolate chip, mint, Oreo, cherry. Okay, you're going to go against Michael Russell, our Rockers player. Let's see how you did compared to him.
Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, cookie nut, cookies and cream, cookie spring. Does that sound like flavor? Mint chocolate chip, vanilla frosting, candy batter.
Okay, Eden got 7, but let's give her a huge round of applause, okay? Good job.
Celebrating their 20th year of providing high-quality housing for Triad residents, Blue Ridge Companies is proud to be the official housing provider.
Top of the second inning, Gastonia leads it 2-0 here on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto. It's going to be 8-9-1. Skoll, Romanski, and Powell coming up for the Honey Hunters. Jake Skoll, the newest member of the 2020 club in the Atlantic League, 20 home runs, 23 steals on the year. Hitting 278 to go with it, also 72 RBIs. The guy, whatever pieces that Joshua Saleh leaves on base, usually Jake Skoll's there to clean it up. Swinging and a miss, strike one, and the changeup down, and the count 0-1. Well, the good thing about Tommy Lawrence, he's got that mentality where you call it the bulldog mentality. Skoll hits this one high in the air, shallow right field. Going out is D. Sarcina, coming in is Gonzalez, and it's D. Sarcina who puts it away for out number 1. That'll bring up Jake Romanski. You call it the bulldog mentality. He's the kind of guy who, he doesn't care how many runs he gives up as long as his team scores more. He's a guy who is happy with a win. He told our own Steve Shutt the other day, look, if I give up 10 and we win, I'm happier than if I give up 2 and we lose. First pitch coming to Romanski. It's at the knees, just below them, 1-0. Romanski was acquired in a transaction with the Lexington Legends. He'll join Armindo Escobar behind the plate here with Gastonia.
What's a while? 2 days?
Slider down and away. Romanski holds off in the count 2-0. He was originally the starting catcher for Lexington. Was splitting time with Jordan Pacheco at the beginning of the year. Then kind of took over when Pacheco left and was basically replaced by Jose Briseño a few weeks ago. Swings, line drive, center field. Johnny Field coasts over, makes the catch. That's out number 2. That'll bring up Luke Powell. Walked, stole a base, and scored last inning. First run scored in the ball game. 350 on the year. Really, he's got all the metrics. Everything passes the test of what you would want in a leadoff guy. A little bit of pop, high average, high on base percentage, and steals bases. That pitch misses, ball 1. He's been known to lay down a bunt or 2 as well. Lawrence comes set. Here comes the 1-0. Slider, strike at the knees, count 1-1.
Well, now he's just locked in. After the first probably 5 batters, he's really turned it on.
Put it on your wrist?
Here comes the 1-1. Fastball fouled off of maybe either Stuart Levy or Jason Johnson. Not sure who it hit first, but both of them appear good to go in the count 1-2. Well, not only that, but most likely, as long as he retires Boog Powell here, he keeps the pitch count for the second inning down really low after a little bit of an elevated first inning. The 1-2 fastball hit on the ground. It's foul. First base side. Count stays 1-2. Although the unfortunate thing, this is not going to be an 8 or 9 inning game for Lawrence, most likely, as he's at 42 pitches now.
Which is impressive considering what he went through the first 4 or so batters.
I think if you're Jamie Keefe, you take 6 from him tonight. 1-2 fastball just stays outside. Count 2-2. We say 6 innings like it's a bad thing. Tommy Lawrence is a guy who, the last time he pitched 6 innings, he went 6 1/3 on August the 3rd. That pitch swung on and hit in the center field, drops for a base hit in front of Johnny Field. Boog Powell has reached base both times he's come to the plate today. Brings up Ryan Jackson, who also scored last inning as well.
Shortstop Ryan Jackson.
We'll see how much attention Boog Powell receives over there at first base. First pitch is a curveball, stays upstairs. And the count 1-0 to Jackson. Lights are on here at Truist Point. Sun is already in the setting process. Seeing some nice colors in the High Point sky. Fastball, that's cranked deep into left field, and Jared Mitchell can only watch it sail out of here and over Blessing Park. A 2-run home run for Ryan Jackson, his 8th of the year. RBIs 44 and 45, and just like that, Gastonia doubles their lead. It's 4-0. I'll bring up Alexi Amarista, who singled his first at-bat.
That was just a pitch from Lawrence high in the zone, and this is a team where if you miss high in the zone, it's getting sent out of the park, and that's exactly what happened. Just a fastball up high. Jackson stepped on it.
And the tough thing is, we talked about it a little bit in the pregame show, how Gastonia is a team that is really just trying to beef up their lineup and just hope they can get by on pitching. And whether or not you disagree with that strategy, is that pitch fouled up and out of play, right field side. The one thing that you cannot deny is the fact that it makes this lineup a situation where everybody can hit a ball like that, 1 through 9. Here comes the 0-1 to Amarista. Fastball inside, 1-1. So it's 7:33. Sunset is scheduled for 7:38, so just a few moments from now. We're hard charging to the first official day of fall, which is the 22nd, I believe. This pitch, a high pop-up, shallow right field. Jerry Downs going back in foul territory. He makes the catch, backpedaling a little bit further. And that's the final out of the inning, but 2 more Gastonia runs come in on a 2-run shot from Ryan Jackson. It's 4-0. We go to the bottom of the second. Rockers trail. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
And support. Choose GTCC, choose the success. Learn more at www.gtcc.edu today. Fans, join us on Saturday, September 11th, starting at 6:30 a.m. to partake in a stair climb with the fire department to honor the lives of firefighters lost in the World Trade Center. Get your running shoes ready for the Heroes 5K at 11 a.m. Registration is currently open with portions of each registration going to charities to benefit local first responders. Next is the first pitch of the second annual High Point Police Department versus High Point Fire Department charity softball game at 3:30 p.m. Then August, the home run derby between HPPD and HPFD with special guest hitters at 5 p.m. Then watch your favorite Rockers take on West Virginia Power at 7:05 p.m. for First Responders Night. Finally, join us post-game for the benefit concert featuring Rockers starting pitcher and rising country music star Bryce Hensley at Truist Point.
Bottom of the second inning. And conversation is going on between Jamie Keefe and the home plate umpire right now, Jason Johnson. And Billy Horn's talking to him as well. It seems like maybe they've stopped using TrackMan, and I almost wonder if Jamie's concern is that they're stopping it in the middle of an inning. But if the thing's not working, I don't know if there's really a whole lot the umpires can do about that. For the Rockers in the third inning, it's 4, 5, and 6. Downs, Cardullo, and Gonzalez.
Well, there's still something got taken off the field, but there is still an iPhone attached to the back of home plate umpire Jason Johnson's belt. Something got taken off the field. It looked like it was a phone with a dongle, but Jason Johnson still has a phone in his back, so I don't know where the other phone came from unless they switched him out.
Whatever it is, Jamie Keefe and Billy Horn felt very adamant about it. But the warm-ups have been completed. Sam Burton ready to deal to Jerry Downs. First pitch to Downs, fastball fouled off, count 0-1. Jerry Downs, 325, a team high 17 home runs, and a team high of 61 RBIs. Burton comes set. Here comes the pitch. Down swings, rips a ground ball towards second. Easy play there for Amarista. Tosses it to first in time. And the first 4 Rockers of today's contest have been retired. It's up Stephen Cardullo, 296, 12 home runs, 52 batting. Billy Horn still talking to the first base umpire, Julius Green. Cardullo steps in. Sam Burton comes set. He works third base side of the rubber and deals a slider. That's away. The count 1-0. He's got a slider that looks like a curveball, much in the way that Craig Stem does as well. It's a pitch that really only hits about 73 miles an hour. There's another one down and away, 2-0.
He throws it from a really weird angle. It's almost like he flicks his wrist.
Here comes the 2-0. There's a fastball up and in. bent Cardullo out of the way in the count 3-0. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the good things for High Point through the first 4 hitters, they're hitting Burton hard. Unfortunately, they've just hit him within range of the fielders, but as Cardullo takes a strike 3-1. It feels like the barrage of hits is coming, which is certainly a little cause for, maybe not relief, but a cause to feel good about things even though you're down 4-0 right now. Burton comes set, timeout called at the plate. And that's another thing that's going to be interesting to watch today. Don't forget, this is, not only is it Jake Romanski's first day with Sam Burton, it's his first day on the team. Fastball low to Cardullo, who works a walk. Here becomes the Rockers' first base runner as Jay Gonzalez comes up. So basically it's a crash course for Jake Romanski right now. He's got to learn on the go what his pitchers are throwing. Cardullo takes his lead off of first base. Jay Gonzalez, who takes or swings first pitch, high fly ball, left field. Saleh settles under it, puts it away, 1 pitch. That's out number 2. I was about to say that Jay Gonzalez hit a big home run yesterday that silenced Toastman. Brings up Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop now, hitting .290, 2 home runs, 45 batted in. It's not very often a player comes back with something quick enough that Toastman gives you credit for, but he was impressed by Jay Gonzalez.
Probably the only time someone's done something like that all season to him.
First pitch to Alfonso. It's a fastball called strike, and the count 0-1. Here comes the 0-1. Alfonso swings and lifts this up out of play over our heads, and the count 0-2. Rockers still looking for the first hit of the ball game. Cardullo at first is the first base runner of the ball game for High Point. Here comes the pitch. Check over to Cardullo at first. It's back in safely. Both of Alfonso's home runs have come on the road. 1 at West Virginia, 1 at Gastonia. Burton comes set. Here comes another 0-2. Fastball swung on, lined into right field. That ball's hanging up there, though, for Jake Skoll, who leaps for good measure, makes the catch. And that's the final out of the inning, but not before the Rockers get their first base runner, but unfortunately not able to bring him around. Gastonia leads at 4-0. We head to the 3rd inning of the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Manuel.
I am proud to be High Point University's sports executive in residence.
All right, Rockers fans, it's time to dance with WKZL 107.5 Dance Camp. Show us your skills.
Video out there, got great work.
Top of the 3rd inning, Gastonia with a 4-0 lead here at Truist Point. Kendrick Fruits, David Blake here with you. Game 1, 3-game set. Rockers have lost 2 in a row. Gastonia has won 2 in a row. Big thing for the Rockers, you kind of get to the point where today marks halfway through the 2nd half. So you got to A, take care of business, but B, there's going to be a little scoreboard watching going forward.
And especially the way West Virginia's played ball. They're up 8-0, by the way, in the top of the third inning against Lexington. That's a team that's on the up and up. For the Rockers, who have struggled offensively, going up against a team in Gastonia who is offensive first and pitching second, it's a little bit of a problem.
Mike Osinski steps in against Tommy Lawrence. First pitch slider, away, ball 1. Yeah, so all of a sudden, a little bit of sense of urgency. You've got to win tonight to keep first place by yourself the way it's looking for that West Virginia score. That one's a fastball poured in for a strike, 1-1. Now, granted, whatever happens in this series against the Honey Hunters, fastball, that's a called strike to the knees, 1-2. At least the next 6 games are against West Virginia, so you have an opportunity to really take care of business. But you'd like to still have first place to yourself by the time you even get to taking on the Power on Friday. The 1-2 down in the dirt, good block by Levy, 2-2.
But 6 straight against the Power. Talk about a crazy series. The last time the Rockers went up against a team and battled for first place, it was Gastonia. And we ended up seeing John Hayes, a relief pitcher, playing left field, and Ryan Chafee batting at the plate, who's also a relief pitcher. So they tend to get a little crazy.
The 2-2 coming to Osinski. Swung on, popped up out of play. The count stays 2-2. Yeah, you got to think to feel comfortable, you've got to take 4 out of 6 against West Virginia coming up.
You'd love to take 2 of 3 here, then 4 of 6 against West Virginia and set yourself up nicely down the stretch.
Got their work cut out for them today, down 4 early. Here's the pitch, fastball hit on the ground, right back to Lawrence. Couple steps off the rubber, and flips it underhand to Jerry Downs. That's out number 1. Brings up Jason Rogers. Had a base hit his first at bat today. Time for your Wake Forest Baptist Health injury report. Michael Russell, I talked to Jamie Keefe before the game today. He said Michael Russell is about a week away. So that is very, very good news. By the time Rockers head to West Virginia next week, it could be time to see that number 4 on the field again. Fastball, there's a strike to Rogers, count 0-1. And you know he's a guy who's just chomping at the bit to get back here. He was very frustrated with the fact that he had to come out of that game, let alone miss time for it. 0-1. Pitch, curveball, stays just downstairs, 1-1. We saw him here at the ballpark last week before we went to West Virginia. He looked like he'd been a kid who had just been given 3 Hershey's bars. He was just bouncing off the walls in the hallway, ready to get going again. This one popped up. Stuart Levy, Jerry Downs looking at it, but it'll get up out of play. The count 1-2 as the ball falls back down into the seats right behind the Rockers dugout. A ball and 2 strikes to Rogers. Lawrence comes set, and here comes that 1-2. That one, a slider that just stays off the plate. The count 2-2. Now we've seen Gastonia get to Lawrence 2 different ways tonight. They started the first inning, 2 runs before an out was recorded. Or after the first out was recorded, the first 2 guys got on. Then we saw it the opposite way in the second inning with 2 outs, and then 2 runs came across. That one swung on, a weak line drive into left field. It'll fall down in front of Mitchell. And it's a 1-out single for Jason Rogers. He's 2 for 2 today.
Quick check of the Atlantic League scoreboard brought to you by Ginny Marr. First Planners. Henry Owens notched his 100th strikeout on the year tonight for the Lexington Legends. Only problem, he's allowed 9 runs, 7 walks, 6 hits. Middle of the third inning, Power up 9-0 over the Legends. Bottom 4, Ducks up 1-0 on Southern Maryland. And the Rebs, minus Darian Sanford, up 7-1 on Lancaster.
Please tell me they've taken Henry Owens out of the game.
Oh, no, he's still in.
Oh, my goodness. First pitch coming to Pappy. That's a fastball, outside ball 1.
They actually posted on Twitter, the Legends did, congratulating Henry Owens on his 100th strikeout of the year in the middle of probably his worst start of the year. Which is a little bit of a kick in the gut.
Fastball to Pappy, that's away, 2-0. Henry Owens is good for 8 strikeouts, 5 runs, and 6 walks a game.
And with the other team going 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position.
He's going to end up, out of all qualified pitchers, the lowest opponent's batting average this year, yet one of the highest earned run averages. Curveball, swing and a miss. Pappy way out in front. The count is 2-1. Which is part of what makes it so interesting. Henry Owens, probably of any starter in the Atlantic League, has the best swing and miss stuff. Just doesn't have the best control. That pitch swung on and smashed. Right field. Going back is Gonzalez at the wall, and he makes the catch. Gonzalez put his hand up on the wall, but was able to come down with the baseball, and that is a loud out number 2. It certainly has the feel of Tommy Lawrence doesn't have his best stuff tonight, but he's going to have to grind this one out. Now batting is Joshua Saleh, who struck out in his first at-bat. So we read you Saleh's numbers. The 29 home runs, the 81 RBIs. He has played every game for Gastonia. This is their 89th. Hits this one on the ground into right field, base hit. Rogers advances to second. This is his 89th game. He's on pace for 39 home runs and 110 RBIs in a 120-game season.
It is honestly shocking at this point that no one has picked him up.
Absolutely. Brings up Jake Skoll, who's 0 for 1 today. I did a little bit of math before the game. I wanted to see how his numbers would rate for a standard 140-game Atlantic League season. If you add in on those 20 games, it's still assuming that Saleh plays every day or takes even one day off. Here's the pitch to Skoll. Fouls it off. Count 0-1. Joshua Saleh's numbers this year would be 46 home runs and 128 RBIs. For comparison, the Atlantic League record is 48 home runs and 129 RBIs. That was set by Ozzie Canseco back in 2000. So Saleh would be 2 home runs shy and 1 RBI shy of tying those records. That pitch down low, and it looks like it clips Skoll maybe on the toe. We had to catch him on the little toe because they didn't get it by much. And the bases are loaded for Gastonia with 2 outs.
Now batting the catcher, Jake Romanski.
Brings up Jake Romanski, flied out to center in his first at-bat. Lawrence is at 66 pitches.
It's probably one of the first times all year we've really seen him struggle.
Here comes the first pitch to Romanski, down and away, and the count 1-0. And it just seems to be control more than anything as Frank Viola goes out to have a word with Lawrence. That's not something you see very often. But it just seems to be control. He gets behind and then has to throw something over the plate. That's where he's getting in trouble. He's given up 6 hits so far today.
And it's not your usual start from a Rockers pitcher where they'll get ahead 0-1, 0-2, and then get beat just with the lack of put-away stuff after they've seen guys a couple of times. It's been very different today. It's ball 1, ball 2. Instead of that strike 1, strike 2, Lawrence gets himself in a hole and then has to go back to the fastball, which Gastonia has timed up time and time again.
And you know, in a way, it's kind of similar to what we saw a couple of days ago from Craig Stemp. Even though a lot of those baseballs were not hit hard, he fell behind a lot of those hitters as well. Meeting at the mound is over. Jason Johnson back behind the plate. Romanski steps back up to it. Here comes the 1-0 from Lawrence. Swing and a miss on the slider, and the count 1-1. That's the good Tommy Lawrence off-speed pitch we know. Bases loaded here for the second time for Gastonia tonight. Once in the first inning, they scored 2 runs. And now here in the third inning with 2 outs. Here comes the 0-1. Same pitch, this one fouled off, and the count out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rogers at third, Saleh at second, Skoll at first. Lawrence up at 70 pitches. Really just want him to get through 5 or 6 at this point. You have a great bullpen. Guys like Dull and Brazoban weren't used yesterday. This one reached out, hit on the ground towards short. Alfonso picks it up, throws to first in time. And that's the final out of the inning. So the Honey Hunters load the bases. Tommy Lawrence gets out of it on a 6-3 ground out. We go to the bottom of the third. Gastonia leads it 4-0 in the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Baby Products.
Let's go down to Shane and get this race started.
Okay, fans, I am down here on the field with our rocking horse Pike and my friend Alexis. She's one of our biggest fans. So, can we make some noise for the both of them? Are you still running? 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, she's doing it backwards, folks. She's doing it backwards. Oh, she's sending a tread. Okay, that's slick. And she's down. You got it, Alexis. Get up. You got it, girl. This is the first time we're seeing somebody do this backwards. This is amazing. Let's make some noise for everybody. This is great. Keep up, guys. This is good. Almost there. Speed, Alexis, speed. You got it. Good girl. All right, let's make some noise for Alexis.
Well, this should be your history night is a leading manufacturer of upholstery and mattress fabrics. Their newest innovation, Live Smart Evolve Upholstery Fabric and Chill Sense Mattress Fabric, have kept over 63 million plastic bottles and counting from entering landfills, waterways, and oceans. Visit Gulf.com to learn more.
Bottom of the third inning. Rockers trail 4-0 against Gastonia at home. Beginning of a 3-game set against the Honey Hunters. Beginning of a 6-game homestand for the Rockers. High Point looking for their first hit of the ball game. It's Levy, DeSarcina, and Field. It's 8-9-1 coming up here in the bottom of the third inning.
Bats now batting is tonight's Simon Jewelers Diamond Double Player of the Game.
Stuart Levy steps up, hitting 242, 9 home runs, 46 batted in.
Exiting the gate for a free jewelry cleaning and inspection at Simon Jewelers. The batter is Stuart Levy.
Levy takes his customary left-handed swing. Steps into the right-handed box. Sam Burton comes set. Here comes his first pitch of the inning. It's the slider down and away, 1-0. Well, Ryan Jackson's 2-run home run in the second inning wasn't the only BAM of the day for Gastonia. Announced earlier today that BAM, as that fastball is a called strike, 1-1, would be the name of their mascot for this year. Or I guess going forward, BAM is the mascot. They have unveiled him. Something about one-syllable mascot names here in North Carolina. That pitch down and away, and the count 2-1. Burton comes set. Here comes the 2-1. Levy pops it up right side of the infield. It's foul, but will Rogers have a play? He gets up to the netting, and the ball will fall foul. The count 2-2. Looks like it stayed in play. It just hit the net on its way down. Levy steps back into the right-handed box. Rockers trying to get something going here. All starts with your first base runner. Fastball way outside, and the count is full. It's felt like they were right on the verge of getting to Burton a couple of times already, and I know we're just in the third inning, but they've hit him hard when they've hit him. Here's the 3-2. Levy Got jammed on this one, though. Pops it up to second base. Amarista is there, puts it away, and that's out number 1.
The only problem is it's getting to a point, first time through, it's going to be interesting to see what happens second time through. But first time through, Sam Burton is just getting, yes, hard contact, but not balls that are going very far. They're either hit up in the air or they're hit hard on the ground right at someone.
Perhaps the only exception to that might be the one that Jared Mitchell hit, which if he had picked any other part of the ballpark, that was going out. First pitch to J.R. DeSarcina, slider down, 1-0. J.R. 272, 5 home runs, 25 batted in. And as a rookie, has turned into a very pivotal bit player here in High Point. As that pitch down low, 2-0. Produces in spot starts. He's been a good pinch hitter for the Rockers, a good defensive replacement. He's done everything they've asked him to do, and they've been impressed. 2-0, way outside. 3 balls, no strikes to DeSarcina.
We've talked about it all year, but there can't be no one with a clipboard and a pen, scouts that aren't impressed by this guy. I mean, it's been impressive.
Fastball taken all the way was DeSarcina. It's a strike, and the count is 2-1. Check that, 3-1. I don't see any scenario. That pitch is down low, ball 4. Second walk of the day, the Rockers have worked off of Burton. I don't see a scenario in which DeSarcina is not an affiliated ball next year.
It'd be very surprising if he was back in the independent ball scene, but if he is, the kid's due for a monster year considering he's played in the Atlantic League, which is generally where you see guys who are 28, 29, 30, and not 23 just graduating college and hitting pretty well.
There's Johnny Field, grounded out on a hot shot to third base to lead off the offensive night for High Point. And Burton deals a fastball strike on the outside part of the zone, and the count 0-1.
The interesting thing to watch is how the Rockers are going to attack Burton second time through the order.
Well, the pitch he's gone to the most has been that slider that looks like a curveball. It almost feels like that's the pitch you've got to be ready for. There's a fastball up at Field's head, and the count is 1-1. Burton has not really located the fastball very well today. When he gets the calls with it, it's been on the outside part of the plate. Takes something off of that one. It's a called strike, and the count 1-2. It might have been the changeup. DeSarcina takes his lead off the first. 1 out in the third. High Point still looking for a hit. Here comes the pitch. Fastball popped up and out of play, and the count stays 1-2. That one would have been close. Probably was a little low for Field, but with 2 strikes, you've got to protect the plate, and that's exactly what Johnny Field did. Was able to spoil that and live to fight another day. Middle of the infield looking for the double play for Gastonia. Here comes a check over to first on DeSarcina. He's back in safely. Well, I'm sure the Rockers, after using a lot of the bullpen yesterday, were thinking of Tommy Lawrence going 7 or 8 today. Now it looks like maybe 5 or 6 is more likely. Here's the 1-2. It's outside, 2-2.
The good thing about all of it, though, is you can throw Nilu Scalia right back on the mound after a real tough outing yesterday. Faced 5 batters, gave up 3 runs, didn't record a single out. It's now a situation where you can throw him back in and get some confidence back.
Field awaiting the 2-2 from Burton. Here it comes. There's the slider. Field swings, and that ball is smashed. Going back to the wall, looking up, and rockabye baseball. Johnny Field puts High Point on the board. They cut the deficit in half. On Field's 11th of the year, RBIs 44 and 45, and it's a 42-ball game. I'll tell you, that is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Rockers. It was just a matter of time. They were hitting Burton just right at people. Now Johnny Field. See if he busted open the dam. Here comes Jared Mitchell, who missed a home run by a couple of feet in his first at-bat. Takes a fastball inside, strike one. Burton comes set. Here comes the 0-1 to Mitchell. There's a fastball away, and the count is 1-1. One thing that we saw a ton of last week, taken outside in the count 2-1, was the long ball. Rockers have recently been hitting Gastonia pitching to far distances. And that continues today, at least so far. Here comes the 2-1, big looping slider, and that apparently caught the upper outer corner of the zone. Jared Mitchell was very surprised to hear that it did in the count 2-2. Takes a moment to adjust the batting gloves. Kind of collect his thoughts after that one. Steps back in. Here comes the 2-2. Fastball, swing and a miss. Mitchell chased one up. And that is the second out of the third inning. Brings up Quincy Lattimore, flied out to center in his first at-bat. Lattimore hitting just a shade under 300. It's actually sitting at 290. Forget when there's not a whole lot of at-bats on your season. One at-bat can change your batting average quite a lot. That pitch down low in the count 1-0. Jerry Downs waits on deck. Here comes the 1-0 from Burton. Takes something off of it. Quincy Lattimore puts that something right back on it as he fouls it on a rocket down the left field side, 1-1. Wind is mostly quiet. Whatever breeze there is lazily drifting out towards left. The jet stream up there, more like a lazy river tonight. The 1-1, that's outside, and the count 2-1. Quincy Lattimore, one of the better ones on the Rockers team as far as working pitches and lengthening at-bats. Chases this one a bit down, though, in the count 2-2. Lattimore with the bright colored compression sleeve on his left arm. Here comes the 2-2, and that's strike three looking. For Sam Burton, back-to-back strikeouts to end the third inning, but Johnny Field went deep with the runner on, and the Rockers got their first hit in a big way, cutting Gastonia's lead rather in half. 4-2 is the deficit for the Rockers. We go to the fourth inning. Javen Blake, your play-by-play. When we return on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Join us Thursday, September 9th for Dollar Beer Night at 7:05 p.m. We look forward to seeing you right here. All right, fans, put your fins up. Get ready to dance to Jimmy Ruff's song, Fins. The Fin Band is brought to you by B&A Pool and Patio Shop, celebrating over 50 years of providing high-quality service and all your pool needs in High Park, North Carolina. is Boone Powell.
Top of the fourth inning from High Point. Welcome back, Javen Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits. The Rockers trail 4-2. Top of the order up for Gastonia. It's Boog Powell, Ryan Jackson, Alexei Amarista. Due up against the right-hander Tommy Lawrence. Powell first to face him, digs in from the left side. First pitch. A little drag bunt, goes up the first baseline. Lawrence off the mound to retrieve it, throws off balance to first, not in time. And it's a bunt single for Boog Powell. He has 2 hits in the day. Puts a runner on first with nobody out for Ryan Jackson.
Well, there's the other thing about Boog Powell. When he leads off an inning, he's batting .425. So he's everything you want to have in the leadoff hitter, and he continues it there.
Just a little drag bunt up the first base line. Probably went all of 40 feet up the line, but really into no man's lane. Downs had to hold it first to get the throw. Ryan Jackson up. Smacked a 2-run homer last time he was at the plate. First pitch to the righty. Slider called a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Jackson walked in the first, did a 2-run homer in the second. Adding to the total of starts that Tommy Lawrence gives up exactly a home run in. Done it 10 times this year. The pitch. Fastball misses away, 1-1. Powell walking lead off of first. Lawrence check back to first. Powell back in time. It's been an interesting day for Tommy Lawrence. Walked the first 2 batters he faced tonight. Ended up with the bases loaded, nobody out in the first. Levy sets up outside, the 1-1 pitch. Fastball called a strike, 1-2. Then gave up 2 runs and a 2-run single from Jason Rogers. Turned things around, retired 4 straight, then a Boog Powell single and a Ryan Jackson homer, his 8th of the season. Quickly made it a 4-2 ball game. Took that a 4-0 ball game. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses low and away, 2-2.
You'll see a lot more of her.
Alexei Amarista on deck. Mike Osinski in the hole. Lawrence set at the belt, fires. Swing and lofted out towards right field. Gonzalez goes over towards the line, but it tails out of play. Count stays 2-2.
You can kind of tell with Tommy Lawrence, he's really slowed things down, not just in this inning, but this start in general, which is usually a sign that you're having to battle a little bit more than you normally are and have to fight with yourself internally because you don't have your best stuff.
Next pitch is his 78th of the night. Runner going, Powell goes. Lawrence popped off the mound, throws to first. Downs now throws to second. Alfonso bobbles it, throws underhand to first, and it gets by Lawrence. Scoots away, and the Rockers throw away an opportunity to get Boog Powell off the base paths. They had him dead to rights. He broke for second. Lawrence checked back to first, and Alfonso just bobbled it on the way back to first. Powell ends up back where he started.
See how the rest of this inning plays out, but that one might come back to hurt.
Just a tough situation. Alfonso initially bobbled it and then hurried to throw and went right through the glove of Tommy Lawrence.
Worst part was if you looked at Powell's reaction, he knew he was caught dead to rights and just kind of looked up at the sky like, oh man.
2-2 the count. The pitch home. Slider low in the dirt. Levy blacks it up, 3-2.
Especially tough when you think that for Tommy Lawrence, outs have been kind of hard to come by, and we're almost gift wrapped one.
3-2 the count with nobody out. Runner going, the pitch, slider inside corner, called strike 3 to throw to second. In time, it's a strike him out, throw him out, double play for the second day in a row. Jackson out looking on strikes. Powell caught for the 3rd time this year. And now with 2 outs, that brings up Alexei Amarista. A great tag by J.R.D. Sarcina. Wasn't the strongest of throws from Stuart Levy. 2 hopped into second. DeSarcina grabbed it, quick tag, smacked it down. Was able to get the right hand of Boog Powell. Amariste up from the left side, 1 for 2 today. 2 outs here in the 4th. First pitch, slider, called the strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Getting Powell quickly makes up for that botched pickoff attempt. The pitch, fastball misses low, 1-1. The righty kicks and fires. Swing and popped up. First base side over towards the line. Downs is there. DeSarcina comes over as well. Drifts back into fair territory and makes the catch. Well, it wasn't your conventional 1-2-3 inning, but J.R. DeSarcina retires Alexi Amarista for out number 3, and the Honey Hunters go down in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through 3.5 at Truist Point. Gastonia leads 4-2 back after this. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
One half of the 4th inning, leading off, Jerry Downs.
Bottom of the 4th inning from Truist Point. Welcome back, Javik Plank alongside Kendrick Fruits. The Rockers trail 4-2. Sent up the middle of the order. Jerry Downs, Steven Cardullo, and Jay Gonzalez, the 3 up to face Sam Burton, who so far today has allowed 1 hit. Only problem was a 2-run home run from Johnny Field. Rockers trail 4-2. Gastonia got 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. The Rockers got 2 in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. First pitch, little looping slider, called a strike, 0-1. Burton throws his slider from such a weird angle from the right side. He almost twists and turns the wrist. The 0-1 pitch. Downs looks at a fastball away, 1-1. He normally doesn't throw from over the top. He's more of a sidearm pitcher. But he sort of plays around with his wrist on that slider. Just looks funky out of the hand. The pitch, swing and fouled straight back. Count goes to 1-2.
It's been very economical for him tonight. He has averaged 16 pitches per inning through the first 3.
That helps you get deep into ball games. Last pitch was his 51st of the night. Not bad for a guy who last time he faced the Rockers went 4+ innings. Gave up 4 walks and 2 hits. Pitch fouled straight back. Count stays at 1-2. Gave up 4 walks, 2 batters were hit, and gave up 7 runs. 1-2 the count on Downs. Steps back in from the left side. Whirls the black bat around a couple of times. The pitch home. Swing and pop foul, 3rd base side, slowly over towards the dugout, but it gets about 2 or 3 rows up. Count stays at 1-2.
Jerry Downs kind of catches a break with that one. That ball kept drifting foul.
Osinski's shifted a couple of steps over to the shortstop hole. Ryan Jackson, a couple of steps towards the second base bag at short. Not quite an overshift, but no one's playing in the normal position. The pitch. Swing and launched out towards right center field. Powell and Skull go back towards the track, and it's Powell who makes the catch for out number 1. third ball today we've seen driven to the gap that just dies at the wall. Downs retired for out number 1. That brings up Stephen Cardullo.
Well, so the game plan is simple. Hit it down the lines tonight.
That's where Johnny Fields' home run went. Just disappeared over that left field wall. Stephen Cardullo digs in from the right side. Walked in his only plate appearance today. The pitch, swing and corked way down the line, hooking foul. Count goes to 0-1. Burton's been hit hard. Jared Mitchell, Quincy Lattimore both put massive charges into the ball. Only problem was the deepest parts of the ballpark. The 0-1 pitch. Swing and launch straight up in the air. Couple steps out behind second. Amarista and Jackson converging. It's Jackson who makes the catch. Out number 2.
Well, the meeting place was center field. There were 6 honey hunters there, all 3 outfielders and both middle infielders. I can't do math, that's 5.
Brings up Jay Gonzalez with 2 outs and nobody on. Rockers trail 4-2, bottom of the 4th inning. Everyone wanders back to their positions. Jason Rogers, the last to do it, walks all the way over to the first base bag. Gonzalez stands in the very back of the left-handed batter's box. First pitch. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Gonzalez 0 for 1 today. Yesterday snapped an 0 for 17 streak in the best way possible. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball, 1-1. Went yard with a 3-run bomb to cap off the Rockers' 4-run 6th inning. Finished the game off well, hit a homer, singled and walked. The pitch, swing and popped foul, third base side out of play, 1-2.
The best part was Toastman had been riding him for being 0 for 17. As he crossed the plate, he pointed at him and said, hey, make that 1 for 18.
Next time up, they did, chant 1 for 18. The 1-2 pitch, spiked curveball, count evens up 2-2. It's a little quieter without having to hear Toastman with every single Rockers batter. The 2-2 pitch from Burton. Swing and smack to the left side. If Sinski comes in on it, picks it up, throws to first. Just in time, beats Gonzalez by about a half step, and Sam Burton fires a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Rockers trail 4-2 as we head to the 5th. Rockers Baseball Network driven by Van
Grab your attention to the Jumbotron and be sure to shout out your answer.
Top of the 5th inning, Rockers trail 4-2. The Gastonia Honey Hunters, game 1 of a 3-game set. Rockers barely holding on to first place in the second half in the South Division. Just a game up on West Virginia, who currently lead 10-2 over the Lexington Legends in their ball games. The Rockers, they want to hang on to first place by themselves for what would be the 14th consecutive day. They've got a little bit of work to do. Mike Osinski, Jason Rogers, and Mike Pappy, the 3 up against Tommy Lawrence, who enters the 5th inning after a little bit of an unconventional night. First pitch, swing and laced out towards left center field. Mitchell comes over, dives, and does not come up with it, just squirts away. Osinski heads into second. The third of DiSarcina is towards the third base side of the bag. And it's a leadoff double for Mike Osinski. Just his second hit of the year off of Tommy Lawrence. 14 at-bats. Brings up the righty Jason Rogers. Would have been an absolutely terrific play from Jared Mitchell. Came in on it, left his feet, acrobatic dive. Just had it pop out of the glove and roll about 5 feet away from him.
Well, that wasn't the end of it either, because a good throw might have still gotten Osinski at second base, but I don't think Mitchell realized it first.
Lawrence throws over to first, trying to appeal that Osinski missed the first base bag. First base umpire Julius Green says he doesn't. So he's safe at second, good to go. Brings up Jason Rogers, who's 2 for 2 today. 2 singles to left field, 2 runs batted into his credit as well. Lawrence peers in from the right side. Now fires home. Swing and a ground ball right at Cardullo at third. Picks it up, steps into the throw to first. In time, Osinski going towards third. There's not going to be a throw. And Tommy Lawrence was over covering the third base bag. Was met with a couple of different guys. Cardullo ended up getting to the bag, and Lawrence decided to take refuge by laying down next to third base. Rogers is out. Osinski advances to third and brings up the left-handed hitting Mike Pappy with 1 out and the runner on third.
The only problem, even though Lawrence and Cardullo got there, was that they both got there late.
Pappy's 0 for 2 today. Steps in from the left side. It's been a bit of a struggle for him. 6 for his last 32 at the plate. Infield in, first pitch. Fastball called to strike at the letters, 0-1. Pappy's average down to 251. The good thing is the OBP for him, 337. That's kind of been saving him all year long. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball high and away, 1-1. The average OBP around the Atlantic League is just around the 320 mark. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and looped out to center field. Field takes 3 steps back, retrieves it. Out number 2, Osinski tags. Field just hauls it back into the infield. Picked up by Alfonso. Sac fly for Mike Pappy. 59th run batted in on the year. It's now a 5-2 ball game for Gastonia here in the 5th.
Now batting left fielder Joshua Saleh.
Brings up the lefty Joshua Saleh. Nobody on. Now 2 outs in the inning. For Lawrence, this is now his 3rd straight start against Gastonia. He's now allowed 13 runs, now 14. The pitch. Saleh takes a fastball away. Called a late strike. Count 0-1. Gave up 6 earned runs on 9 hits a couple weeks back. Last start, 2 runs on 10 hits, and today, 5 runs on 8. The pitch. Fastball misses away, 1-1.
And you kind of see it coming as the week goes on. You start to see the same pitchers over and over again. You have no secrets for these hitters anymore.
The 1-1 pitch. Slider misses low, 2-1. And that's the thing with an 8-team league. This is the old Midwest League that had 16 teams, or even the International League, which has divisions that are as large as 8 teams. The pitch. Swing and smacked into left field. Mitchell comes over, drops down in front of him. Second hit of the ball game for Joshua Saleh, and puts a runner on first with 2 outs for Jake Skolden. But the big thing is, with an 8-team league and 4 teams in your division, that you end up playing for a total of 75 of your 120 games. You end up seeing guys 3, 4, 5 times. You figure everything out, especially for someone like Lawrence that relies on 3 pitches that don't touch above 87 on the radar gun. Scholes steps in from the left side. 2 outs, 1 on. The pitch. Slider misses low. 1-0. Fastest pitch thrown today from Tommy, 87.6 miles an hour. That was off the fastball. He's been real slider heavy today. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a ground ball just wide of the first base bag. Count evens up 1-1. It's the usual start from Lawrence. The slider, fastball, and curve pretty much used a third of a time each. Big thing for him today has been the slider. Been able to get 9 called strikes on it, 30 pitches. The pitch, fastball high and away, 2-1. That's been the big thing for Lawrence all year long. He might not generate the massive swing and miss numbers, but he's able to get called strikes. Saleh about a step and a half lead off of first. The pitch, swing and a bouncing ball wide of the first base bag. Count evens up 2-2. Jake Romanski stands on deck. If both Skoll and Romanski reach, it brings up a situation where Boog Powell gets his 4th at-bat of the ball game here in the 5th inning. Lawrence set at the belt. 2-2 pitch. Swing and smashed out towards right field. Gonzalez goes back towards the wall, looks up and takes one hop off the wall and bounces back into his glove. Saleh advances to third. The ball squirts away from second. In goes Skoll to second. It's a stand-up double. Saleh to third, and now runners at second and third with 2 outs for Jake Romanski.
Rockers get action up in the bullpen really quickly. I think it's Joe Johnson. Guy who can get loose the quickest out of all the Rocker relievers.
It is Johnson. Pops up quickly. Starts throwing with bullpen catcher Albert Gonzalez. It has not been Tommy Lawrence's night. He's thrown 96 pitches on the day, just 58 strikes.
10 hits allowed already, too, is the big number that stands out to me.
Romanski up from the right side. 2 on, 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball. 0-1. Romanski today 0 for 2. Flew out to center back in the second. Grounded out to short in the third. One in already in the inning. Lawrence fires home. Swing and popped foul. First base side hits off the netting and bounces back into play. Count quickly to 0-2.
This is a huge opportunity to get out of this inning with just the 1 run allowed.
This is what keeps your team in the ballgame. We talked about it yesterday with Ryan Chafee somehow getting out of a bases loaded no-out jam with only allowing 2 runs to score. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball in the dirt. Levy blocks it up. 1-2. Skoll at second. Saleh at third. Top of the order stands on deck. Be coming up for their 4th plate appearance of the day. Mansky stands back in. Very back of the right-handed batter's box. 2-tone bat. Black handle, tan top. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and lifted out towards right field. Gonzalez takes a step towards the line and makes the catch, and Tommy Lawrence guts out 5 innings. In the inning, Gastonia scores 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, 2 runners left aboard. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Honey Hunters 5, Rockers 2. We're back after this. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York.
Visit wakehealth.edu/sportsmedicine today to schedule an appointment. Wake Forest Baptist Center, your way the athletes go. All right, Rockers Nation, it's time to show your muscles. The Wake Forest Flex Camp. Each season is not over. Let's see those muscles.
Rockers trail 5-2, bottom half of the 5th inning. Sam Burton back on the mound for Gastonia. He's allowed 1 hit today, walked 2, and struck out 2. Bases Giovanni Alfonso, Stuart Levy, and J.R.D. Sarcina. 7, 8, 9 of the Rockers order. David Blake alongside Kendrick Fruits. Thanks so much for spending your Tuesday night with us. Rockers kicking off a 6-game homestand. Smack dab in the middle of a 16-game stretch that season played no one else but Gastonia and West Virginia. Alfonso first up in the inning, steps in from the right side. Pitch from Burton. Fastball dots the outside corner, called a strike 0-1.
Nobody's throwing in the Rockers bullpen now. They're just kind of standing around. So it looks like Lawrence may start the 6th, and then they'll have people ready in case of emergency.
The pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball outside corner, 0-2. Lawrence so far today has thrown 98 pitches. Burton, on the other hand, just patched the 60 mark. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball low and away, 1-2. Alfonso today 0 for 1. Flown to right field last time he was up. Bottom of this Rockers order, just getting their second turns at the plate today. We head to the top half of the 6th. The top of the Honey Hunters order is going to be coming up for the 4th time today. The pitch. Fastball misses high, 2-2.
It's hard to believe with all the hits the Rockers have smashed 2 people today, or how hard the balls have been hit. It's hard to believe they only have 1 official hit to show for it.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and popped up. First base side. Rogers drifts over into foul territory. Calls everyone off. Makes the catch about 2 steps from the Rockers bullpen. That's out number 1. Brings up Stuart Levy.
Double player of the game. Catcher, Stuart Levy.
Burton's now retired 6 batters in a row, and only 1 ball was left the infield. Levy digs in from the right side, readjusts the batting gloves, readjusts the helmet. First pitch from Burton. Fastball misses away, 1-0. Rockers have 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors. Gastonia 5 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. The pitch. Curveball misses inside, 2-0. This is a Rockers offense that has just gone quiet. Their last 24 1/3 innings, they've scored just 9 runs. The 2-0 pitch. Levy swings and taps it foul, 2-1.
Right-hander up in the bullpen for the Rockers again. This time it's not Joe Johnson, it's Jonathan Crawford.
Crawford's had a fun weekend. Was in Boston 2 days ago. Brother Cutter made his Major League debut as a starter for the Red Sox. The pitch. Fastball misses inside, 3-1. You talk about good names for a baseball player. How about naming your kid Cutter and having him become a pitcher? And then having him make the major leagues. The 3-1 pitch from Burton. Swing and fouled straight back. Count goes to 3-2.
So believe it or not, that's not the first person I've heard of named Cutter who was a pitcher in pro ball. When I was in Danville in 2017, they drafted a guy from a North Carolina college named Cutter Dials, and he was one of the top guys out of the bullpen for Danville that year.
Levy back into the box from the right side. 3-2 the count. 1 out, nobody on. Rockers trail 5-2. The pitch. Fastball misses inside, ball 4. 3rd time today Burton's walked someone.
Now batting second baseman J.R.D.
Levy heads down to first, brings up J.R.D. Sarcina. Rockers would love to get some runs here. 9 runs in their last 3 games. They were shut out on Sunday. Scored 7 runs yesterday, which is 2 runs today. First pitch out. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 0-1.
Well, here's the tough thing for Sam Burton. After his first 2 months of the year in which he was allowing a walk every 2 innings, his last 2 months, 1 walk every inning is what he's averaged. 20 walks, 20 innings.
The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, dials up a fastball. Count goes to 0-2. The second half, 20 walks and 12 strikeouts coming into today. So that's the total, 23 walks and 14 strikeouts. ERA's been the issue coming into today, 12.6 in 20 innings. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, fastball away, check back to first, Levy back in time. To strike out for Jared DeSarcina. Third of the day for Burton. Brings up the top of the order on Johnny Field with 2 outs and 1 on here in the 5th. The Rockers offense the last couple of days has just been completely shut down. Yesterday managed some hits, but didn't get any until the 6th inning when they scored 4 runs. Before that, they totaled just 5 and scored 1 run and a home run from Jared Mitchell. First pitch to the righty field. Fastball misses high and inside, 1-0.
Halfway through the game, and man at the plate's the only one who's figured out Sam Burton so far.
Figured it out in a big way last time up. 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. His 11th of the season. Burton set at the belt, comes home. Slider called the strike, 1-1. Top 3 of the order, check that, top 4 of the order today has struggled. Field's the only one who's reached base. They were 1 for 8 with a home run. And only Jerry Downs been able to get it out of the infield. The pitch, fastball misses away, 2-1. Burton's retired 7 of his last 8 batters faced. Second time through the order, batters were 1 for 8 off of him with 3 strikeouts. 2-1 the count, 2 outs, runner on first. Check back to first, Levy dives back in time. Field has really turned it around since coming over to the Rockers a couple months ago. Burton comes home with the 2-1 pitch. Fastball misses away, 3-1. Was batting under 150 with the Kansas City Monarchs, who tomorrow begin their quest for the American Association Championship. Finished at 63-37 on the year. Tops in the American Association. But Field was hitting under 150 with them, comes over to the Rockers. The pitch, swing and dribbled foul, third base line, just wide of the bag. Count goes to 3-2.
You know what? I don't care if it's biased or not. I hope the Monarchs win the championship simply because how cool would it be to say Kansas City Monarchs are champions again after, what, 50 years or whatever since the Negro League entry?
60, more than 50
yeah, more than
years.
that. Wow.
It's 2021.
Yep, that's right.
70 years ago would be 51, which was
about the end of
when the Negro Leagues. It went on for about 10 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. 3-2 pitch, runner goes, tapped foul, back to the screen. Count stays 3-2.
You think the glory days of the Monarchs was the mid to late 40s.
Greatest story out of the American Association was yesterday, the final day of the regular season. You had the Houston Apollos, who came into the game at 16-83, shut out the Lincoln Salt Dogs, who needed 1 win to get into the playoffs. Apollos won 2-0. The pitch, fastball low and away, ball 4. Second walk of the inning puts a runner in scoring position now for Jared Mitchell.
There's just so many great postseason stories there. You have that. You have Kansas City. You have Cleburne making the postseason for the first time in their franchise history as well.
You also have the new wild card game. Romanski out to the mound to talk to Burton. New for this year in the American Association, top 3 teams in each division make the playoffs. It's a little larger than the Atlantic League. They have 12 teams. The Atlantic League just has 8, so it's a little more common to expand the playoffs to 6 teams, 3 in each division, 1 game wild card series, then a best of 5 divisional championship series, and a best of 5 American Association finals for the Miles Wolff Trophy. Mitchell in from the left side, 2 runners on, 2 outs. Rockers down 5-2 in the 5th. The pitch, fastball misses low, 1-0. Mitchell today 0 for 2. Struck out swinging back in the third. Flew out to deep center field back in the first. Burton, big deep breath. Looks over at second. It's over again. Time called by Mitchell for Burton to pick up the foot. Sort of picked it up and quickly stopped himself. Everyone steps out. The righty sets, now fires home. Fastball misses away. Hermansky fakes a throw to second. Levy was way off the bag. Count goes to 2-0. It's crazy to think the Rockers will be playing into mid-October this year. The regular season ends October 10th. By the time they end, the Atlantic League is going to be the only professional league in North America with still regular season games in October. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses away, 3-0.
Yeah, Major League Baseball will be, nearing the end of the divisional round, I think, or in the middle of it.
3-0 the count. Frontier League ends this Sunday. A couple wild division races. The Shambaugh Boobers, the first team to clinch a berth. Pitch. Fastball misses away, ball 4. Rockers don't have a hit in the inning, yet Sam Burton has loaded them up for him. 2 straight walks, puts every single base and brings up the righty Quincy Lattimore.
I'm feeling good energy here. Maybe it might be time for that first grand slam.
Well, Lattimore would love to break out of a slump right here. 0 for 2 today, 3 for his last 19 at the plate with 6 strikeouts. Rockers trail 5-2. 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch home. Swing and a bouncing ball right at Jackson at short. Picks it up, throws high to first. Rogers has to jump for it, but settles back on the bag and retires Lattimore, out number 3. Burton loads him up. Rockers can't do anything with it. No runs, no hits, no errors. 3 runners left on base. The Rockers have 1 hit. They've left 4 on. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Rockers down 5-2. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
See you all again soon. Pack the boy to watch your favorite Rockers players go against the Gastonia Honey Hunters tomorrow, September 8th. And Thursday, September 9th. Don't miss Toga Heroes Night tomorrow, September 8th, 7:05 p.m. In pre-admission to the box office with a valid medical or first responder ID. Join us Thursday, September 9th for Dollar Beer Night at 7:05 p.m. We look forward to seeing you all here. You want to represent your hometown High Point Rockers and enjoy great brews? Located on Section 104 is our team store and our craft beer bar on White. Be sure to visit before you leave today so you can browse our large selection of Rockers merchandise and hang out at our historic friendship table. This call to Hogan is sponsored by Cricket Wireless, working hard to keep you connected and safe. Get your cricket service today.
Welcome back to Truist Point, top half of the 6th inning. Rockers trail 5-2 on the scoreboard. Tommy Lawrence's day is done. One of his shortest starts of the year. Goes just 5 innings. First time he's gone less than 6 in over 2 months. July 10th at Lexington went 4 innings. Today goes just 5. 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and throws exactly 100 pitches. And gives way to the righty, who's just back from seeing his brother make his major league debut on Sunday with the Boston Red Sox. It's right-hander Jonathan Crawford. Crawford on the year making his 9th appearance, 4.50 the ERA in 10 innings pitched. 4 walks, 8 strikeouts, and opponents hitting 184 against him. He faces at the top of the order Boog Powell, Ryan Jackson, and Alexei Amarista. Rockers make 1 defensive change. Jared Mitchell out of the ballgame. Quincy Lattimore moves into left. Lattimore, originally the DH. He's done this a couple of times this year. Spends about half the game in the DH spot and ends up moving out to left field. Jay Gonzalez stays in right, to the outfield goes Lattimore in left, field and center, and Gonzalez in right. Crawford got out to the mound a little late. There was a little confusion on whether Mitchell or Gonzalez were going to stay in the ball game. So Crawford just finishing up his warm-up pitches.
The sixth inning for Gastonia. Leading off is Boone Powell.
Boog Powell walks up to the plate. It's been a good day for Boog. 2 for 2, 2 singles, and a walk as well. Powell stands just outside the left-handed batter's box. Now digs in. Home plate umpire Jason Johnson tells him, come on, let's go. Get in the box. Powell steps in. Leads off again another inning. First pitch. Fastball. Called a strike, 0-1. Last time we saw Powell lead off an inning, pushed a drag bunt down the first base line, reached on a base hit, and was promptly caught stealing for just the third time this year. The 0-1 pitch from Crawford. Swing and a bouncing ball, first base side, gloved by Downs. Takes 3 steps, steps in the bag. In a quick 2-pitch, 1-out situation for Jonathan Crawford. Brings up Ryan Jackson.
One of the things I love about Jerry Downs' defensive game, and it's a very subtle thing, but I think it's underrated. Jerry Downs will come in on those high choppers and not wait for it to take that one extra hop. And by being aggressive on those, he's able to take away what could be tight races to the bag on a lot of ground balls.
That's the first thing they teach you with the high hopping ground balls, is make sure you cut it off before you get that second hop. That's always what kills you as a defender. Jackson steps up from the right side. Pitch from Crawford. Check swing and a fastball away. Called a strike, 0-1. Crawford last appeared in a game in the 8th inning on Saturday against West Virginia. Struck out 2, gave up 1 run on 2 hits in an inning, 27 pitches. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball, called the strike, 0-2. Well, doesn't get much better than this to start your appearance. 4 pitches, 4 strikes, and quickly is Ryan Jackson, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a homer, 2 runs batted in and a walk, and an 0-2 count. The righty kicks and fires home. Fastball misses low, 1-2. Crawford stands at 6'2", 210 pounds. Out of Stuart, Florida.
He is Mr. Hot. Mr. Hot.
The 1-2 pitch. Curveball misses away, 2-2. One of a couple of different guys who played in the Florida area. Was the same age in high school as Giovanni Alfonso. They played in the Florida State High School Baseball Association. They never played each other, though. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a devastating slider, strike 3. Down goes Jackson for out number 2. Just a filthy pitch from Crawford, one that we've seen a couple of different times. Threw it off that outside corner and buried it to the righty. 4th strikeout of the day for the Honey Hunters. 2nd for Ryan Jackson. Brings up Alexei Amarista from the left side. 1 for 3 today. Singled in the first, and then popped out to everyone standing on the right side of the infield. Once the first, once the second. The pitch. Fastball misses high and away, 1-0.
Today in baseball history, presented by the International Market Center. I'll keep it quick since there's already 2 outs in the inning. First off, in 1913, to beat some inclement weather expected in the area.
Crawford comes home with the 1-0 pitch. Fastball way inside. Amarista backs out of the way of it. Ends up hitting Jason Johnson on the top of the foot. Count at 1-0.
In a Texas League game between Galveston and San Antonio, the team's owners encourages the players to play rapidly. Why? Because it was the final game of the regular season. They didn't want to hand out rain checks to be redeemable next year. So Galveston and San Antonio finished the ball game in a 49-minute contest to beat the rain.
Amarista back in from the left side. The pitch home. Fastball misses low, 2-0.
9 years ago today, 2012, the Sugar Land Skeeters sent out a man to the pitcher's mound named Roger Clemens, who pitched 3 1/3 innings for Sugar Land. They sold out that day as 7,500 seats. They had 7,700 people there.
Check that, a 3-0 count. The pitch misses low, ball 4. Now Marista walks on 4 pitches. Brings up the righty Mike Osinski with 2 outs and 1 on in the 6th. Rockers trail 5-2 on a Tuesday night. First game of a 3-game set against Gastonia. Rockers are going to need a pretty good comeback if they want to stay in first place by themselves for another day. It's getting wild in Lexington, Kentucky. West Virginia leads 13-7, top of the 6th inning. Just a game back of the Rockers. After winning 2 of 3 this weekend. First pitch. Fastball cold, a strike to the righty, 0-1.
To finish that thought on Roger Clemens, the neat part about it, he played a defunct Atlantic League team in the Bridgeport Bluefish, gave up only 1 hit, and struck out former big leaguer Joey Gathright in the process.
Well, if the Rockers should be thankful for one thing, it's the Bridgeport Bluefish. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball called a strike, 0-2. The reason the Rockers exist are pretty much because the Bridgeport Bluefish, after the end of the 2017 season, City Council decided to convert their ballpark into an outdoor amphitheater. And the Rockers entered the league in their place. Check back to first. Amarista dives back in time. It is a very weird setup at the old ballpark in Bridgeport. You drive by it looks exactly like a baseball stadium. There's just a permanent stage. The pitch, swing, fouled straight back, count stays 0-2. A couple of different ballparks in the Atlantic League used to be right near the water. Atlantic City, obviously, one of the better known ones, the Sandcastle it was called. Bridgeport's right near the water, and then the Camden River Sharks were right next to the water in New Jersey before that team eventually folded. The 0-2 pitch with 2 outs. Swing and lifted foul. First base side out of play. Count stays 0-2.
You know, when I think of Atlantic City Surf, what I always envision in my head is a ballpark that you would see like in backyard baseball where there's not an outfield wall. It's just the ocean, and you just go as far as you feel comfortable going after a ball.
The Atlantic City Surf were probably the most infamous Atlantic League team at the start. They had teal and purple uniforms that looked something out of those 90s soda cups you used to get, early 2000s. The 0-2 pitch from Crawford. Swing and lofted foul again, first base side out of play, and Osinski stays alive. They were white jerseys with black pinstripes, and then you had surf and just looked like a spray-painted font. The Sandcastle actually does still exist. They host perfect game tournaments and such. Outfield wall looks a little more decrepit than it did in 1998. It's also been 23 years. Runner going, the 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, tipped right back into the glove of Stuart Levy. Osinski barely got it. And Crawford strikes out his second of the inning and ends things here in the top of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom half of the inning. Rockers trail 5-2. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van Yorgata.
Stand ready to defend a grateful nation. Included in these seats is a POW in my A seat, which will always remain unused in honor of those that have not come home. Please rise if you are currently serving or have served in the United States Armed Forces. Thank you for your service. Thank you to Cricket Wireless for sponsoring the Rockers Row of Honor. To honor the hometown hero in your life, nominate them to sit in our Row of Honor on sliding to highpointrockers.com. And now get ready to show those pearly whites, fans. It's time for the Smile Cam. Brought to you by Dr. Bradley Samuel. If you need a great dentist, call ours, 336-883-2316. Or visit www.bradleyasamueldds.com. Dr. Bradley Samuel, the official dentist of the High Point Rockers.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Sam Burton back on the mound for his 6th inning of work, and what a day it's been. He's allowed 2 runs on a single hit. Rockers trail 5-2. Jerry Downs, Stephen Cardullo, and Jay Gonzalez, lefty, righty, lefty. 3, 4, and 5 in the order due up against Burton. He hasn't done anything crazy. It's not like he's throwing overly hard. He's maxed out at 90 miles an hour on the fastball. And outside of that, he's just mixed in a weird-looking slider and a changeup. First pitch, smacked foul, left field line out of play. Counted 0-1. Jerry Downs today 0 for 2. Only Rockers player with a hit is Johnny Field. Smacked a 2-run homer over the left field wall in the 3rd inning, and that's been it. Ball gets away from the Gastonia bullpen. Time's called, the bat boy runs out. Burton kicks and fires. Swing and popped foul. Out of play down the 3rd base line, counted 0-2.
Well, for as frustrating as it was for Craig Stem yesterday to be blooped all over the place, I gotta think it's equally as frustrating for Rockers hitters today that feel like they're all over Sam Burton but have 1 hit to show for it.
This is sort of the evening out of everything. The 0-2 pitch, fastball. Cold, strike 3 in the outside corner. Downs down on strikes. 4th strikeout of the day for Burton. It's up Stephen Cardullo. Rockers, for about the past week, have been able to pretty much score at will. Friday night in West Virginia, they were 6 for 20 with runners in scoring position. Last week, for a good portion of it, especially after the Gastonia series, they were batting above 300 with runners in scoring position. It's kind of come crashing back down to earth. First pitch. Swing and a ground ball right to Osinski at 3rd, picks it up on the run, steps into the throw and whips it dart to 1st. Cardullo down, out number 2, and brings up Jay Gonzalez. Well, Sam Burton can't get much of an easier inning. Retired 3 in a row and brings up Jay Gonzalez, who's 0 for 2 today. Burton, again, last week was a guy who gave up 7 runs on 4 walks and 2 hit by pitches. First pitch, fastball called to strike 0-1. Didn't make it out of the 5th inning. Today is well on track to get out of the 6th. The pitch, swing and popped foul, 3rd base side out of play, counted 0-2. And you can tell he's locked in too. I mean, he is quick to getting on the mound and getting ready to go. Looking for the final out of the inning. The pitch. Swing and a line drive right into the glove of Mike Osinski. Couple steps off the bag at 3rd. And the Honey Hunters retire the Rockers on a grand total of 8 pitches in the 6th inning. Rockers held off the board. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Rockers trail 5-2. Crunch and Fruits, your play-by-play when we return. Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van Yorkado.
Tonight's contest, gentlemen taking away
I am down here on the field with Alex and John B. Their foreheads are going to be down on the back. They are going to spin as fast as they possibly can until I say go. No cheating. 3, 2, 1, go. Vector. Go, Steve, come on. What is that? So close. Good, Alex, good form. But that should be on the ground, but I like where you're going with it. Keep going. The louder you cheer, folks, the faster they spin. 3, 2, 1, go! A good save! John B. wins! Very nicely done, boys. Thank you for joining us for this battle.
Top 7. Honey Hunters lead the Rockers 5-2. Despite how close it is on the scoreboard, they've been out-hit. The Rockers have 10-1 so far today. Kendrick Fruits, Javik Blake here with you as we get down to the final third of business here in game 1 of this 3-game set. And when these two teams come up against each other, anything can happen, which means, Javik, at the end of the day, this game is far from over.
With the Rockers only down by 4, took that 3 going into the final innings. This is a Gastonia bullpen that you can get to outside of Jose in the ninth.
Which really means at this point, you've got 6 outs to do something. Jason Rogers leads off here in the top of the 7th. It's Rogers, Pappy, and Saleh. Crawford's first pitch, a fastball strike to Rogers, 0-1. Jason Rogers, 2 for 3 today, a couple of base hits. He's hit well against High Point as well. 292, but only 1 of his 15 home runs. Here comes the 0-1 slider down in the dirt, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, despite being at 94 pitches, the Gastonia bullpen currently is quiet. They may, in fact, let Sam Burton start the 7th inning. Here comes the 1-1 curveball. That stays away, 2-1.
Well, and why not? Bottom 3 in the Rockers' order is due up. You've only faced him twice. And it's a bullpen who's been known to give up a couple of runs.
Burton has not hit the 100-pitch mark since August the 5th. That was 6 starts ago.
I've been there for those conversations.
There's the 2-1 fastball. Popped in there for a strike in the count, 2-2.
Also back-to-back good starts from Honey Hunter pitchers.
Yeah, A.J. Merkel looked pretty solid yesterday. And quite honestly, a couple of days ago, except for 1 inning, Spencer Bivens did a nice job. 5 2/3 innings, 5 runs. Here's the 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3 on the changeup. It's out number 1 here in the 7th inning. Jonathan Crawford has picked up, of the 4 outs so far, 3 of them via punch-out. Mike Pappy comes up now. He's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. No wind, flags hanging limp in left center field. Here comes the first pitch to Pappy. Fastball, that's down low. Well, it seems very, very hard to believe, but after this week, the Rockers have 1 more homestand this year. Here comes the 1-0. That's inside. And the count 2-0. Granted, it's a long one. It's a 12-game homestand. But it is the last homestand of the year. It's also the end of the schedule, which is very much weighted towards the north. The Rockers have a lot of northern opponents slated. Line drive, smashed right field. It's foul, count 2-1. Which also means if you want to break it down by games after tonight, out of 60 home games the Rockers were slated for this year, only going to be 17 remaining after tonight's game. Crawford comes set. Here comes the 2-1 to Pappy. Just smashed that last one down the right field side, just a bit foul. Fastball, that's a strike. Jonathan Crawford's fastball tonight absolutely humming in there.
Especially coming after a guy in Tommy Lawrence whose fastball maxed out at 88. He's coming in 93.
And that's huge when you can bring in a guy who's so much a change of pace, but the opposite way of what you normally expect. You want to go to a fast guy after a more finesse guy in Tommy Lawrence. Swing and a miss, high change up there, and Jonathan Crawford is just toying with these Gastonia hitters right now.
Next up, Joshua
4
Saleh.
strikeouts on his outing, 3 consecutive strikeouts, and that brings up Joshua Saleh. He's 2 for 3 today, but also has a strikeout. There's somebody up and throwing again in the Gastonia bullpen. As I say that, he goes back to the bench and grabs a towel, so he may be done already.
Top of the inning, it was Jonathan Herman. Would be surprised if we see him out in the bottom half.
Looks like a left-hander. I don't have my roster card in front of me. First pitch fastball, that's a strike to Saleh. Herman's a right-hander. And no, it is a right-hander. He took his glove off and was holding it in his right hand. Here comes the 0-1. Maybe a sinker or a slider, something with some downward movement on it, missed downstairs, and the count 1-1. Jake Skoll waits on deck. Here comes the 1-1 to Saleh. Crawford, fastball, that's hit high in the air into left. Quincy Lattimore going back and flags it down at the warning track. And that is the final out of the inning. Saleh gave it a ride, but Jonathan Crawford sets down the Honey Hunters. 1-2-3 in the 7th inning. It's stretch time at Truist Point. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Rockers trail at 5-2. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Don't miss our spectacular 3D fireworks show from the field at Friday, September 10th, presented by Condon Heart and Vascular Health Center. Join us September 11th. Our First Responders Night, presented by Ilderton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, with a specialty jersey auction benefiting both Angels in Blue and the North Carolina Fallen Firefighters Foundation. And lastly, the Sunday, September 12th, is Superhero Day. Pitch run the bases. Come and meet our special guests, Superwoman, Captain America, and Batwoman. It won't be a night you're gonna miss. We look forward to seeing you there. Hey fans, please turn your attention to the Jumbotron as we present McDonald's 7th inning stretch. Their mission is to make delicious, feel-good food moments easy for everyone. Visit your hometown McDonald's today, and let's do it together and sing Take Me Out to Ball Game.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Sam Burton's evening is done. What a nice evening it was for him. 6 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a home run allowed. He absolutely just handcuffed my boy Rockers hitters tonight. He gives way to right-hander now Jonathan Herman.
Herman making his 6th appearance on the year so far. 8 2/3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs allowed, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .242 against him.
For the Rockers in the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be 7, 8, and 9. That's Alfonso Levy and D. Sarcina, the 3 scheduled hitters, while the Rockers are trying to cut into this 3-run deficit. And step 1 is base runners. Although they've been walked 5 times tonight by Sam Burton. Only 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position because, well, they don't get anybody over. You work your walks against this Gastonia team, but at the end of the day, you still have to pick up the hits when they get the opportunity. Here's Alfonso, like so many on the team, 0 for 1 tonight. Fastball, that's away. They count 1-0. Alfonso taking a long walk around. Looks like it might have been called a strike. I think think it was called a strike, and Alfonso did not agree with it. Here comes the pitch from Herman. High and almost clipped him. Up and in the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Alfonso taking a little walk around for a different reason. Now he's got to kind of collect himself after that one went up and in.
And Ryan Dull currently warming in the Rackers pen.
He was up and throwing yesterday, didn't actually get into the ball game. Herman comes set, extreme third base side of the rubber. Here's the 1-1. Alfonso swings over it, and the count 1-2. Like we alluded to a little while ago, you've got to get some runs before they get to Jose in the back of the bullpen. Jose's ERA is sitting at 2.5. Only up about 13 points from what we saw it at last week. Gave up a run over the weekend, but still picked up the win in the process. That pitch spiked on the way to the plate, and the count 2-2.
Big thing, though, 15 strikeouts in 14 third innings.
He's got very good stuff. Not hard stuff, but good stuff. And that's the thing. Hard doesn't always equal good in terms of pitch quality, as Alfonso was swinging a bunt back to the mound, and the throw goes into the outfield. Herman threw it low to Rogers. It goes into the Rockers bullpen. Alfonso is rounding second base. The throw still hasn't come in. Alfonso's at third on the throwing error by Jonathan Herman. That might be the spark the Rockers need. It was a little slow tapper back to the mound and certainly looked like out number 1, but Herman's throw was low, and that would be an error on Herman.
Just a weird, slow developing play. Herman had a lot of time, but hurried the throw.
Here's the pitch to Levy. That's downstairs. Count 1-0. Levy on the day, 0 for 1 with a walk. Fastball at the knees, called strike to Levy, the count 1-1. Line score 5-10-1 for Gastonia. It is 2-1-0 for the Rockers. Herman comes set at the belt, 1-1 coming to Levy. That's a fastball. Catches the inside part of the plate. Called a strike. Levy is exchanging a couple words with Jason Johnson right now.
Bend over, you lazy bum.
Rockers haven't scored since the 3rd inning. Both of those coming off of the Johnny Field home run. Levy again asks for time.
Brush out.
Alfonso standing at third base rather. Things have really slowed down as Levy is taking exception to that strike 2 call. And here's the 1-2 fastball popped up out of play. The count stays 1-2. Fans are letting Johnson have it as well, and he keeps tapping that side pocket where the phone is, saying, hey, not my call. Herman comes set. Here comes a 1-2. Alfonso taking a walking lead off of third. High fastball up and in. And the count 2-2. It takes out a lot of fun in the game when fans don't get to heckle the umpire. So I think even though they realize it's out of his hands, they're still going to do it anyways. You grew up doing that as a kid. Here's the 2-2. That's downstairs to Levy, and the count goes full. Good take there from Stewart. Rockers trying to get Alfonso in here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fastball, Levy fouls it right back, and the count stays full. DeSarcina, the bottom of the lineup, waiting on deck. The deficit right now is 3, which would tie the largest deficit the Rockers have overcome this year if the Rockers are able to do so tonight. Here's a 3-2. Fastball downstairs, ball 4. And Stuart Levy works his second walk of the ball game. And that's something that Stuart Levy it's been a good part of his game this year. Even when the batting average was struggling at the beginning of the year, about 100 points lower than what it is now, he was a guy that showed really good awareness of the strike zone and was able to work walks to a high clip.
That's why the OBP is so high on the year, because he's able to just see pitches, work deep into counts, and really get in the pitcher's head.
Runners at the corners for DeSarcina. JR today, 0 for 1. A walk, a strikeout, a run scored. Runners at the corners, still nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. Fastball downstairs, and the count 1-0. Now you're getting into what Gastonia's bullpen is known for, and that is lack of control. Herman came out firing. 6 of his first 8 pitches were strikes. Since then, 1 out of his last 5. Now make it 6 as that one's down in the dirt. And the count 2-0. Nice block there from Romansky. Reggie Harris is coming out now to talk to Herman, who had just mentioned 1 strike in his last 6 pitches. And this will be their second mound visit as Romansky came out to talk earlier. Frank Viola is going out to talk to Jamie Keefe now, or pick up something from Jamie Keefe. Because Giovanni Alfonso's elbow guard.
Well, it's not like Billy Horn where he can turn it around and chuck it towards the dugout. He's got to wait for someone to come out and grab it.
So I was talking to Randy Norris getting on the bus yesterday, of course, with Jamie Keefe out yesterday. Billy was coaching third. Randy was over some at first, and I asked Randy how he thought he did compared to Billy Horn usually over there first base. And Randy said, I think I was a lot more animated than Billy normally is, which would not surprise me one bit.
Well, there was a point where he forgot to get someone's gear, and someone just, I think it was James McGowan after his single, just started throwing stuff at him left and right because they were going to get this off. He's a first base coach in training.
Yes. Well, one of the big things about being a first base coach, you've got to be a really good cheerleader, and we know Randy's got that down. Here comes the 2-0 to Levy, or DeSarcina rather, swings, base hit into left field. That gets past Osinski. Alfonso scores, 1 base advancement for Stuart Levy. And an RBI single from DeSarcina puts the Rockers now down just 2. It's 5-3.
Yet another RBI single for J.R. DeSarcina. It seems the only team he gets anything really going to an MVP level against is the Honey Hunters, and comes through again here.
Alfonso's run is unearned since he reached base via an error. Rockers don't care earned or unearned, they just care that it crossed the plate. Here's Johnny Field. High fastball upstairs, and the count 1-0. DeSarcina at first base now also represents the tying run in this ball game. Despite High Point being out hit 10-2, they've got a golden opportunity here in the 7th inning. Corners playing in. Now Rogers backs up a little bit, but fastball down low below the zone for Field, and the count 2-0. Osinski was playing even with the bag, and then at the pitch took a couple of steps in. Levy a moderate lead at second base. Amarista is a couple steps away, at least trying to keep him honest. 2-0 way outside to Johnny Field, and Jonathan Herman is 1 away from loading the bases. There's a right-hander up in the bullpen for Gastonia.
And he can't get ready fast enough. Herman just simply doesn't have it tonight.
After starting 6 out of 8 in throwing strikes, he is now 2 out of his last 10. Here's the 3-0. That catches the zone. They count 3-1. Rockers picking up one so far in the 7th. Still nobody out. They trail by 2. Here's the pitch, fastball inside, and that loads the bases. The tying run now stands at second base. Go-ahead run at first, and Mauro Gazzo has seen enough of Jonathan Herman tonight. He's heading to the mound. He points down to the bullpen, and that will do it. The pitcher spot due up. James McOwen is tying his shoes up at the top of the stairs, but we'll go ahead and let the new pitcher warm up and set things up for what could be a big Rockers rally in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's coming up next on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto. Bottom of the 7th inning was forgettable for Jonathan Herman. Didn't get anybody out. 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks. He's responsible for all 3 runners on the base paths. We'll turn it over to right-hander Joe Kuzia now.
Kuzia on the year making his 12th appearance, 12.86 the ERA in 14 innings, 16 walks, 11 strikeouts. Opponents in 356 against him.
Certainly get the feeling, Javik, that this is where the Rockers need to pounce. There's no more waiting around and get closer. It is take the lead now or bust. Nobody out in the inning. James McOwen will pinch hit for the pitcher spot. Which means Adole will be in to pitch in the top of the 8th inning. Tying run at second base, that's J.R.D. Sarcina. Levy stands in front of him at third. The go-ahead run, Johnny Field, behind him at first. Kuzia comes set. And here comes the first pitch to McOwen. That's a fastball way inside, and the count 1-0. James McOwen has been swinging a good bat as of late, too. Although he's lost some playing time to Quincy Lattimore since Lattimore returned about a week and a half ago. James McOwen has been barreling a lot of baseballs recently. Here's the 1-0. That one's going to stay outside. Kuzia took a little off of it, but still couldn't find the zone, and the count 2-0. The 2-0. McOwen swings and chops it foul. That's going to end up ricocheting off of the netting and dropping harmlessly into the Rockers' dugout in the count 2-1. McOwen, a very wide stance in the left-handed box. Back foot on the back line. The front foot, a couple inches to a foot shy of the front line. I mean, he is way spread out. Here's the 2-1, swings, hits a slow roller towards first base. Rogers, his only play is going to be to tag McOwen. And Stuart Levy scores on the ground out. Rockers get another one, it's 5-4. Tying run now stands at third base with 1 out. The RBI ground out for McOwen. Quincy Lattimore.
That's 2 days in a row for McOwen with a productive pinch hit appearance. Yesterday single, today gets a run home.
Lattimore so far today 0 for 3. He could atone for all of that, though, with a big at-bat here. Though he's got a home run since returning to the Rockers, he's still really looking for his defining moment of his return. Off-speed pitch from Kuzia. It's a late called strike. The count is 0-1. Jason Johnson kind of turned like it was strike 3 and made a very dramatic showing of strike 1 call. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball upstairs, and the count is a ball and a strike. The fans here tonight have not been shy about voicing their thoughts on balls and strikes. Here's the 1-1. Lattimore swings, hits this one into left field, base hit. DiSarcina comes around and scores. They're waving around Johnny Field. Here comes the throw to the plate. Field slides, he's safe, and the Rockers take a 6-5 lead on the 2-run single by Quincy Lattimore. He didn't hit it particularly hard, but he was able to split shortstop and third base, and Johnny Field, who was motoring around, beat the throw in a nice slide towards the foul side of the line. Was able to get around Jake Romanski.
Now if you're the Rockers, everything's worked out perfectly. You have Dull, Brazoban, and Halpon good for the final 2 innings of the ball game, and all are well rested.
Now to bring up Jerry Downs. There's still only 1 out in the inning. Kuzia holds the set, and timeout finally called by Jerry Downs. 4-run 7th here for the Rockers. Obviously, you're not home free, as this Gastonia offense is able to put up huge numbers at any given moment, but for High Point, certainly all the momentum on your side. That one spiked, gets away from Romanski, can't find it. It ends up being a baseball that lands behind Jason Johnson. Romanski just about shoved him out of the way, but Lattimore goes down to second base on the wild pitch. One out in the inning. Rockers have insurance standing at second. There's the 1-0 to Downs. There's a curveball, drops in for a strike, and they count 1-1. Well, for the Rockers, they're not asking too much out of Jerry Downs, just a base hit or something to bring Quincy in. He's not a guy who, for some reason or another, has not really got the home run stroke here at home. He's hit some monsters here, but he just doesn't hit a lot of them. 12 of his 17 home runs have been hit on the road. This one hit on the ground towards second. Amarista's only play is to first base as Lattimore advances to third now with 2 outs.
That's up for the Rockers, Steven Cardulo.
4 day for Jerry Downs, although that one certainly does count in the productive out category. Brings up Steven Cardulo now 0 for 2 with a walk. Rockers have done all this damage this inning, 4 runs on just 2 hits. They have 3 hits in the ball game. First pitch to Cardulo, up and in, and the count 1-0.
It's kind of been their MO against Gastonia. Last game against them, they had 17 runs on 9 hits. Today, 6 runs on 3.
Gastonia put guys on. It's just your job to seal the deal. Here's the 1-0, a looper inside to Cardulo, 2-0. Rockers would love to get that insurance in from third base. 1-run lead is great, but against this offense across the way in Gastonia, 2 is a little more desirable. There's the 2-0. Another curveball. This one is a called strike, and the count 2-1. Kuzia, the strike ratio is not much better than Herman's. 6 strikes on 13 pitches. Here comes the 2-1. Another curveball. That's all he's throwing Cardullo. This one inside, 3 balls and a strike. Trying to pitch carefully to him. You've got Jay Gonzalez on deck. Kuzia comes set. Here's the 3-1 to Cardullo. Now goes with the fastball, but it's down low, ball 4. Jay Gonzalez, with runners at the corners and 2 outs, becomes the 9th rocker to stride to the plate in the 7th inning. And although obviously we're biased and want the Rockers to win, you can't help but feel for Sam Burton a little bit, who pitched 6 really good innings, only gave up 1 hit, and now won't even factor into the decision tonight. Timeout called by the home plate umpire. And now we're ready to go. Here comes the first pitch to Gonzalez. That one stays, nope, catches the outside part of the zone. The count is 0-1. It's deceptive when the catcher sets up inside, the pitcher misses away, but still crosses the plate, even though it looks like Romanski has to go a ways out of his way to catch the ball. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball, Gonzalez sprays it foul. The count 0-2. Ryan Dahl ready to go in the Rockers bullpen, and outside of 1 bad performance, he has been lights out for High Point. Kuzia comes set. Here comes the 0-2. And that's a curveball that Jay Gonzalez kind of corkscrewed himself into the ground. Never really executed a full swing, but the bat went well around. That's strike 3. But the Rockers put up 4 runs in the 7th, and they take a 6-5 lead over Gastonia as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Bayshore Auto.
Weekly updates on food and drink specials. Come check out our unique dining experience at the looking our Truist Point Stadium as we offer delicious food and a great time. Fans, direct your attention to the field where you are about to witness the most exciting game of Rocker Ball. While you might help first, be sure to cheer them on. All right, Shaylin, take it away.
Rockers Nation, I am down here with Sean and Nick, father-son duo. 3 rounds, best 2 out of 3. Are you 2 ready? 3, 2, 1, Rocker Ball. Here we go, coming on. Okay, Ty, you're set. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, that was done pretty gracefully. Okay, all right, Sean. Yep, good. Okay, we'll reset. Here we go. Okay. 3, 2, done. Cool. Sean, you win. Good job. Let's hear it for him, folks.
Top of the 8th inning. Rockers have gone from a 3-run deficit to a 1-run lead. It is 6-5. I go to the bullpen. Jonathan Crawford, 2 very, very nice innings for the Rockers out of the bullpen for him. He went 2 innings and nothing other than a walk and 4 strikeouts, lowering the ERA to 3.75. And it's the former Oakland A, now Ryan Dahl, who's tasked with hanging on to the 1-run lead in the 8th inning.
Dahl makes his 5th appearance of the season, ERA of 9 even in 4 innings pitched, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 235 the opponent's batting average against.
One thing to remember about Ryan Dahl, though, those 4 earned runs that have given him the 9 ERA all came in the same outing. I think that was his 2nd appearance of the year.
Last 2 outings have been fantastic. 2 innings, no hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts.
So
the top of the 8th inning for Gastonia, it is Skoll, Romanski, and Powell. That is 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup. For Gastonia, this is a huge series for them. They started the second half, just kind of shot out of the gate, but Right now, they're just trying to hang within striking distance as Skoll swings and misses strike one. 3.5 games out right now. If they're not careful, things could get out of hand for the Honey Hunters in a hurry, depending on how the rest of this week goes. Here comes the 0-1 from Dull. Fastball, that one is just unfair. Nobody can catch up to that. And they're going to go down to third base umpire, and Owen Ballard says he went around. That may be a little bit of a generous call down there, but Ryan Dull will take it. I didn't think Skoll went around, but the count 0-2.
I think the reason why no one made the move is because everyone thought, Levy included, that it was a strike to begin with.
There's the 0-2. That's a slider down. They check again, and Ballard this time says Skoll did not go around. The count 1-2. Kyle Halbon making his way down to the Rockers bullpen. You got to think he's about ready to start getting loose for the top of the 9th inning. Right-hander up in the bullpen for Gastonia as well. Off speed down low from Ryan Dull, and the count is 2-2. Rockers trying to become the first team in the Atlantic League to pick up win number 50 this year. They came into today with 49. The Long Island Ducks did as well, so it's a race to 50 between the two. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Skoll can't catch up to the outside fastball. That's out number 1. Let's look at this, too. The Rockers bullpen tonight has recorded 7 outs, and 5 of them have been strikeouts.
It has not been a blessing 4th time through the order for Gastonia, that's for sure.
They picked up Tommy Lawrence in a big way. You know what? I think that Tommy earned it. He's picked up the bullpen so many times in the last month that they could return the favor tonight. First pitch fastball to Romanski down at the shoe tops, and the count 1-0. Romanski today has not reached base. He's 0 for 3. Dull comes set. Here's the 1-0. It's a slider just below the knees, 1-1. Well, the Ducks did win earlier today, so they have hit the 50-win mark, so the Rockers would just be joining them at the 50-win club. Here comes the 1-1. Popped up, out of play. The count 1-2. Well, how about this? So, if West Virginia wins their game tonight, which we were talking about, they had a big lead early. If West Virginia wins tonight, that means the Lexington Legends on the year are 44-44. Remember how hot they started the year, and all of a sudden they're going to become only a 500 team.
19-9 since then, 10 games under 500.
2 balls and a strike. That one hit on the ground towards third. Cardullo charging in on it. Throws over to first in time. That retires Romanski. That's out number 2. I'll bring up Boot Powell now with 2 outs in the 8th. Powell reached base his first 3 times. That streak ended in his last at-bat when he grounded out the first. Dull comes set. First pitch coming to Powell. Slider. That's a strike at the knees, and the count 0-1. He's not wasting a whole lot of time. He's get the ball, step back on the rubber, and go again. Here comes the 0-1. Slider again. This one hit high in the air into left center field. Lattimore is there. flag it down in left center for the final out of the inning. Ryan Dole sets them down 1-2-3. The Rockers bullpen has set Gastonia down 7 hitters in a row. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockers lead at 6-5. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
The High Point Rockers would like to thank our corporate sponsors. We are grateful for their continued support and generosity. This phone will be sponsored by Cricket Wireless, working hard to keep you connected and safe. Get your cricket service today.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Rockers with a 6-5 lead over Gastonia. Gastonia goes to the bullpen. Joe Kuzia came in to try to clean up the mess from Jonathan Herman. In one inning, gave up a hit, a walk, a strikeout, and the inherited run came in and scored as well. Go to now Jamie Callahan, the right-hander.
Callahan making his 26th appearance on the year, 7.15 the ERA in 22 2/3 innings, pitched 17 walks, 25 strikeouts. Opponents in 351 off of him.
I should say all 3 inherited runners came in and scored. Big blow, of course, the 2-run single, Quincy Lattimore. So the bottom of the 8th inning, it's the same 3 Rockers leading off that led off the bottom of the 7th. That's Alfonso and Levy and DiSarcina.
Bottom of the 8th inning, leading on driver, Giovanni Alfonso.
And Halbon is up and throwing in the bullpen. Unless the Rockers go off again here in the 8th inning, he'll have a chance to notch his 10th save of the year. He'll become the 3rd Rocker to reach double digits in saves after Trevor Frank and Ryan Kelly did it in 2019. Kelly, the former Atlanta Brave. Here comes the first pitch to Alfonso. It's a slider. They go down to first base. And Julius Green says Alfonso did go in the count 0-1. Sliders down are so hard to lay off of simply because the later they break, the more they just look like a fastball in the bottom of the zone, and then all of a sudden it just darts. Here's the 0-1. Like a curve ball, that's going to miss down low in the count 1-1. Well, tomorrow night is COVID Heroes Night at the ballpark. If you have a medical ID or a first responder's ID, show that at the ballpark to get free admission. That pitch is towered into shallow left center field. Coming in is Saleh, and he'll flag it down. That's out number 1. Gonna bring up Stuart Levy. That's our way here at the ballpark, saying thank you to those in the medical field who have been just absolutely swamped the last year or so. The trainer is now coming out, speaking of medical. Jamie Callahan, that's Joseph Holstead. Mauro Gazzo is coming out with them. I didn't see anything from Callahan that made it look like anything was wrong. Euclides Layer is walking down to the bullpen right now.
Weird situation. I didn't quite see anything either. Get a quick check of the Atlantic League scoreboard. Trainer out in the mound. Middle 8, York up 13-6 over Lancaster. Big game, West Virginia up 14-8 over Lexington. End of the 8th inning, and Long Island takes down Southern Maryland 9-0 in game 1 of their series.
Well, it's Jacinto Garcia in the bullpen. They're looking at his shoulder, and they're going to have to bring Garcia in immediately. Trainer Holstead was rubbing on the shoulder of Jamie Callahan, and I just wonder if it's a situation where it was just kind of tight on him and he couldn't get it to loosen up. Jacinto Garcia comes in, and as always, when there is a injury situation, he will have as long as needed to warm up. See, I think he threw the ball maybe 3 times in the bullpen, so this will give him plenty of time to get loose and throw. He's still stretching on his way to the mound, so we'll step aside. Jacinto Garcia will warm up, and when we come back, there's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockers leading 6-5 on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
This call will be sponsored by Cricket Wireless. They're working hard to keep you connected and safe. Get your crickets every day.
In the 8th inning. I think Gastonia answered back. They scored 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Still a couple more warm-up tosses to go for Garcia.
Tough thing is with all this, it uses an already stretched thin bullpen. Using 4 different guys tonight for a team that just hasn't been able to find outs out of the back end for about the past 2 weeks.
Kind of ends up being a blessing in disguise for the Rockers, though, too, because if they go 1, 2, 3 in the 8th inning now, it gave Kyle Halbon an extra 4 or 5 minutes to throw in their own bullpen. Garcia is ready to go now. Walks up the back of the mound. And Levy stands in the right-handed box. Levy on the day 0 for 1 has walked twice and scored once. First pitch coming. Fastball called strike and the count 0-1. Again, Garcia is not a guy who throws exceptionally hard. In fact, that first fastball, at least to my eye, looked like it was about where a Tommy Lawrence fastball is, the mid-80s or so. Big, slow looping curveball. Took a couple seconds to get to the plate. Missed outside in the count 1-1.
One of the biggest things with seeing when Garcia warmed up, this is not the typical Jacinto Garcia we've seen. He's throwing stuff a whole lot slower.
I almost wonder, here's the 1-1. Fastball, I guess if you could call it that, upstairs in the count 2-1. Almost wonder if it's a situation where because he had to come in cold from the bullpen, maybe he's just trying to go soft tossing today and try to overthrow and get hurt. Here comes the 2-1. Levy pops it up out of play in the count 2-2. I would be surprised to see if Garcia hits 85 tonight at all. Two balls, 2 strikes to Levy, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, Rockers with a 1-run lead. Romanski flashing the signs. Garcia comes set. Here comes the 2-2 to Levy. The righty kicks and fires. That's a fastball outside. And the count full. I just struggle calling that a fastball. What is it registering as?
They have all registered so far today as curveballs and sliders.
Okay, well, we'll call them sliders then. That's a curveball. It's down low, and it's ball 4. Stuart Levy has now walked for the 3rd time today. That'll bring up J.R. DiSarcina. J.R. came through his last at-bat with a big single. He's 1 for 2 today. He scored 2 runs also. Steps into the right-handed box. Stuart Levy gets rid of all the protective gear. Over at first base and hops to a couple-step lead. Guess that would be the slider from Garcia. It's a called strike at the top of the zone. Count is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 to DiSarcina. Slider again. That's a strike 0-2. You kind of get the feeling of if Jamie Moyer was a right-handed pitcher, this would be what it would look like.
Jacinto Garcia, though, a little bit younger than Moyer. Not quite out here throwing 78, 79 at 46 years old.
Check over to first base, and if possible, that throw to first might have been slower than some of those pitches that we've seen.
And this might even be a situation where something's up with the arm, and he just has to get through to get some outs.
Could also be, it's no secret that a lot of these guys in the Gastonia bullpen have been used a lot recently, so it could just be a situation of trying to not overtax himself. As this one, a weak line drive, snagged right above the turf by Alexi Amarista. Nice play there by the Gastonia second baseman. Came in, snagged the ball just above the turf. Stuart Levy heads up, getting back to first in time. No throw from Amarista. There's 2 outs now in the 8th inning. Brings up Johnny Field. Johnny Field matched his 11th home run of the game, or of the day rather, back in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 2 today, has also walked twice. Garcia comes set. First pitch coming to field. Slider. That's upstairs. Count 1-0. Michael Martinez is standing in the on-deck circle, so he'll be pinch hitting for the pitcher's spot. Martinez getting the day off today, at least up to this point. Here comes the 1-0. It's way outside to field, and the count 2-0. Martinez, a switch hitter. He'll be batting from the left-hand side. Halban is pretty much, for all intents and purposes, finished warming up, mostly standing there in the bullpen, tossing the occasional pitch to bullpen coach Albert Gonzalez. Comes the 2-0 to field, upstairs and in the count 3-0. But you kind of got the feeling for the Rockers that after a rough weekend against West Virginia, rough for whatever reason, getting shut out in one game or having the pitching fail you one game or the offense failing you, whatever the reason being, you kind of got the feeling that they were looking forward to coming back here, not only to be back home where they played well, as Field takes a strike in the count full. Check that, count 3-1. They were not only glad to come back here, but you face a Gastonia team that you swept last week, so that sense of recent success and familiarity certainly had to be on their minds as the team made the bus trip back home last night. Here's the 3-1, and that's outside. It's ball 4. Johnny Field is the second Rocker today to walk 3 times, joining Stuart Levy.
That now brings up the walk total to 10 on the day for West Virginia. Just a team that hasn't had control. They've now walked a grand total of 102 batters in the last 13 games.
So here's Michael Martinez. Martinez, 316, 2 home runs, 14 batted in. Jacinto Garcia steps off, and not sure what's going on, if he's trying to stretch out his arm or if he was fixing his shirt sleeve. I'm not exactly sure. He kind of was hidden from view what he was actually doing, but now he's back on the rubber. Now steps off, steps back on. Michael Martinez just waiting patiently in the left-handed box. Garcia comes set. First pitch coming here to Martinez. That might be the first classified fastball of the day. It actually looked like it. That's a strike, and the count 0-1. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Martinez. Swings, line drive, right field. They're sending DiSarcina around. Here comes the throw home, and it will be cut off. An RBI single from Michael Martinez, and the pinch hitter gives the Rockers a little insurance. Johnny Field goes to third, and the Rockers now lead it 7-5.
Now batting DH, Quincy Lattimore.
We'll bring up the left fielder, Quincy Lattimore. Lattimore on the day, 1 for 4.
Talk about slow pitches. The pitch that Martinez just singled off of, a 69.9 mile an hour slider. That's one of probably about 15 pitches he's thrown that have been under 70.
Comes the first pitch to Lattimore. That pitch, a called strike at the knees, 0-1. I want to correct something I said a moment ago. I think I said the runner coming around was DiSarcina. That was Stuart Levy, who came in and scored from second. Here comes the pitch, and that one swung on, and the weak line drive, left field, base hit. Field comes around, he scores. Martinez heads to second base, and the Rockers are getting all the insurance they need here in the 8th inning. Quincy Lattimore's 3rd RBI of the game, and it is now an 8-5 ball game.
Now batting Jerry Downs.
Brings brings up Jerry Downs with 2 outs in the inning. Downs 0 for 4, uncharacteristic night for him. First pitch coming here to Downs. Downs swings, fouls it back. Might have clipped the top of the netting on the way out of play. And the count 0-1. Well, now you can breathe a little bit easier if you're the Rockers. If you take a 1-run lead into the 9th inning, especially when you have guys like Jackson, Amaristo, Sinski coming up in the top of the 9th, 1-run lead not necessarily safe. You feel a little bit better with a 3-run lead. Here's the 0-1. Down swings, drives this one into left center field. This ball is going to get past the dive of Powell. Martinez comes around, he scores. They're sending Lattimore around, he scores. It is going to be a 2-run double for Jerry Downs. And how about this? All of a sudden, it's not even a save situation anymore. It is 10-5. The Rockers have put up back-to-back 4-run innings.
Gastonia's pitching just continues to let him down in every way possible. They came in today with an ERA of 12.4 in their last 12 games, losing 9 of 12, and that's only going to climb a bit today. I mean, it's just been a mess the last 2 weeks.
That's kind of hard to put that last one, though, on Jacinto Garcia. Either A, that's a play that Powell should make, or B, you let up a little bit, play it on a hop, and don't let that get past you into the gap. First pitch up and in to Cardullo in the count 1-0.
It's still crazy, though, that in their last 13 games now, they've allowed 10 or more runs in 9 of them.
And in the last 6 of the last 7 games between the Rockers and Honey Hunters, the winner has scored 10 runs. Rockers are now on their way to a 6th consecutive victory over their in-state rivals. They would go to 14-6 against Gastonia this year.
The win would also be their 6th straight against the Honey Hunters. They've just had their number there in this entire second half.
A pitch down low to Cardullo in the count 2-0. Tough thing is, while Gastonia would fall even further in the standings, with the Power winning tonight, all this does for the Rockers is just they keep the 1-game advantage over West Virginia. And now the trainer is coming out to look at Jacinto Garcia. Would this be the 2nd pitcher removed this inning with an injury? Same spot, he's grabbing at that right elbow, right shoulder area. There's a right-hander up in the bullpen for the Honey Hunters. This is something.
I just don't know why they're coming out now, because he seemed, after he had stretched, he seemed pretty fine. There was no visible movements.
Going to take Jacinto Garcia out of the ballgame. And the other thing, too, is it's not like he's throwing hard, not like there's a whole lot of strain going on there, but they'll head to the bullpen. Another guy coming in who will take as long as he needs to warm up. So we'll step aside and let him have a chance to throw. We'll be back in a moment. Rockers have put up 4 in the 8th inning. They lead at 10-5 on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Chasing Road. This call to bullpen is sponsored by Cricket Wireless. Working hard to keep you connected and safe. Get your cricket service today.
Well, after the Honey Hunters removed their second pitcher of the inning due to an injury, turned it over to right-hander Chase Ingram, the former High Point Rocker. His third appearance against the Rockers since then. Ingram on the year, 1-0, 10.80 the ERA, 10 innings pitched, 10 walks, 6 strikeouts, 3 home runs allowed. Opponents hitting .359 off of him. Again, we mentioned he's faced the Rockers twice. ERA of 22.50 in 2 innings against High Point. Good news for Ingram is that he only needs 1 out. The count is 2-0 to Steven Cardulo. Jerry Downs is the runner at second base. Kyle Halbon still up in the Rockers bullpen. That's for 2 different reasons, even though it's not a save situation anymore. Reason number 1, he was already up and thrown. Reason number 2, Halbon's not had a whole lot of work recently, so for the Rockers, you just want to keep your closer fresh. So for those 2 reasons, that's why he is expected to still come in and throw the 9th inning, despite it not being a save situation. Here comes the 2-0 to Cardulo. Fastball, ripped foul, count 2-1.
Halbon's also basically just thrown a simulated game down there with how long this inning's taken.
2 balls and a strike to Cardulo. Nothing too crazy about Cardulo's look today. Low socks. Looks like it's just going with the all-white look today. Swings, ground ball foul into the Gastonia bullpen, 2-2. He's keeping it simple today. That's what it is. Keeping it simple after a rough weekend. Downs takes his lead off of second. Not really being held on. Cardulo steps in. And here comes the 2-2 from Ingram. The righty holds the set, now delivers. Curveball popped up towards second base. Amarista going out into the outfield. He's called off everybody in the area, puts it away for the final out of the inning. Well, last inning, the Rockers sent up 8 to the plate. This inning, they sent up 7. Check that, they sent up 9 last inning. They sent up 8 this time. Either way you slice it, the result's the same. 4 runs in the 7th, 4 runs in the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. Rockers lead 10-5. The Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Manual Guard.
For more information, visit your school's website. Get your child started on the path to success today.
At Hyper University, we are focused on preparing students for the world as it is going to be.
Hi, I'm Seth Marshall, and I am proud to be High Point University's sports executive in residence.
Rockers fans, back to point. We watch your favorite players go up against the Gastonia Honey Hunters tomorrow, September 8th, and Thursday, September 9th. Don't miss COVID Heroes Night tomorrow, September 8th at 7:05 p.m. And free admission at the box office for the Allied Medical or First Responder ID. Join us Thursday, September 9th for Dollar Beer Night at 7:05 p.m. And we look forward to seeing you all right here.
Top of the 9th inning, Rockers lead it 10-5, looking to put the finishing touches on a series opening victory against Gastonia here tonight. They go to the bullpen after Ryan Dole faced 3 hitters, retired them all in the 8th inning. It's the closer, Kyle Halbon, now in the 9th.
Halbon making his 36th appearance of the year, 3.82 the ERA, 33 innings pitched, 10 walks, 30 strikeouts, 224. The opponent's batting average against.
Halbon will be facing 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Jackson, Amarista, and Osinski, which is a lot less intimidating when you've got a 5-run lead. But still not a group to be taken lightly. Ryan Jackson, a 2-run home run earlier today. Lexi Amarista's reached base twice. Mike Osinski hit a double earlier. There's a reason this is one of the best offenses in the Atlantic League. And you can call them that certainly when you separate them from the pitching staff, because this offense truly is 1 through 9, one of, if not the most dangerous unit, as Jackson takes a fastball, strike 1.
The only problem is when your bullpen gives up 8 runs in 2 innings, it doesn't matter how good your offense is.
Here comes the 0-1. Changeup, that's a strike, and the count 0-2. Well, one guy who's definitely feeling good about all this is Tommy Lawrence, who was staring the loss in the face, and Rocker's offense was able to get him off the hook tonight. I believe it would be Jonathan Crawford who would be in line for the victory. Here's the 0-2. Curveball down low, blocked by Levy, no swing from Jackson, and the count 1-2. Again, tomorrow night, Rockers and Honey Hunters, COVID Heroes night. Thursday night, it's Dollar Beer night. Both games at 7:05. If you can't make it out, we'll be on the air, MixLR 6:30, YouTube at 6:50. Curveball, strike 3 looking. That'll retire Jackson. 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Brings up Alexi Amarista. 1 for 3. He's also walked. Amarista is really a lot in the similar mold of Michael Martinez, a guy who was a utility guy in the major leagues, known for a glove-first guy, average speed at best. But then you come to the independent leagues and you really become an all-around player. He swings and misses strike 1. Both of them pick up, they're standing at double-digit home runs. They hit 280 to 300. They can steal some bases. Here comes the 0-1 to Amarista. Fastball hit on the ground into left field. No chance any Rockers infielders to get to that one. He's got himself a 2-hit night. Brings up Mike Osinski. Osinski 1 for 4, a double, and a run scored. One out, top of the ninth. Rockers lead it by 5. Here's the pitch from Halbon. Runner goes to second. That pitch popped up and foul. Count 0-1, and that'll return Amarista back to first. Well, it looks like if Halbon can get Osinski and Rogers, the Honey Hunters would play this entire game without a pinch hitter. The pitcher spot is due up after Rogers. But because of how good the Rockers bullpen has been, retiring the last 8 Honey Hunters before Amarista singled. This one hit on the ground, a high chopper to first base. Downs picks it up, flips it to Halbon. That's out number 2. Amarista to second. And Jason Rogers comes out now with 2 outs in the ninth. Rogers today 2 for 4, a couple of singles. Takes a slow walk to the right-handed batter's box, the former Milwaukee Brewer and Pittsburgh Pirate big leaguer. He's really blossomed in the Atlantic League the last couple of years. Struggled when he went to Mexico this summer, but as soon as he returned back to Gastonia, the big numbers started coming again. Amarista takes his lead off a second. Nobody holding him on. Rockers aren't really worried about him with 2 outs and a 5-run lead. First pitch coming here to Rogers. Fastball, that's down and away in the count 1-0. Halbon, his last 9 appearances, has only given up 1 run. You've seen the ERA was sitting at 5.4 at one point. Drop all the way to 3.82. That pitch down low, 2-0 to Rogers. And really the back of the Rockers bullpen is just straight gas now between Dull, Brazoban, and Halban. Although Halban does mix in the nice curveball. Goes fastball there, line drive into left field, that'll fall. Base hit, they're sending Amarista home, but the throw comes into second. So for Rogers, it's an RBI single, and the Rockers lead is cut to 10-6. And so here he comes, the first pinch hitter of the ball game. It's Ryan Cordell.
Let's go, Kyle.
Another former big leaguer.
Pinch hitting for Gastonia, number 7.
He's got some pop in his bat. On the year for Cordell, he's only joined the Honey Hunters since the second half of the year, hitting .279, 4 home runs, and 14 batted in. Average has dropped a lot since we last saw him. Did not have a great weekend. Fastball fouled straight back, and the count 0-1. Jason Johnson went to go collect the baseball himself as it ricocheted off of the netting and then almost made it back to his perch behind catcher Stuart Levy. Runner on first, 2 outs. Rockers lead is 4 here in the 9th inning. And Halban delivers the 0-1, the curveball. It's a called strike at the top of the zone, and the Rockers 1 strike away from a Game 1 victory. Halban comes set, 0-2, that's down in the dirt, tried to get him to chase. Rogers heads to second on the wild pitch, no throw from Levy. That's the thing about when you play Gastonia, no matter what happens the first 6 innings, if you get to the bullpen, you've got a chance. That's exactly what happened today. Lawrence did enough to keep the Rockers in it. High Point did the rest. Here's the 1-2, curveball hit on the ground toward short. Alfonso scoops it up, throws across to first base. In time, that'll do it. It's a close play at first, but Julius Green makes the outside, and the Rockers win Game 1 of the series 10-6. They have now won 6 straight against Gastonia, and they're the 2nd team in the Atlantic League to 50 wins. Stick around for the Richter's Grill postgame show. That's coming up next on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto.
Pack the point and watch your favorite Rockers players go up against the Gastonia Honey Hunters tomorrow, September 8th, and Thursday, September 9th. Don't miss COVID Heroes Night tomorrow, September 8th at 7:05 p.m. Game 3 admission at the box office with a valid medical or first responder ID. Join us Thursday, September 9th for Dollar Beer Night at 7:05 p.m. Folks, we look forward to seeing you right here.
Gary. Hello?
Welcome into the Rickster's Grill postgame show on the Rockers Baseball Network, driven by Van York Auto. Rickster's Grill is the official postgame hangout of the High Point Rockers. Visit them today, 3815 Tinsley Drive in the High Point. And well, Javik, that was the bottom line is it was a win. It was not pretty, but it was a nice rally, and it was a win at the end of the day.
That's what matters. You're not going to win pretty most of the time against Gastonia. There's going to be a lot of walks out of that bullpen, but you got to take advantage of their mistakes, and that's exactly what the Rockers did. They waited around until the 7th and 8th inning, got 4 runs in each of those innings, and at the end of the day, in a game which early on it looked like they were way out of, come up huge and get a big 10-6 win.
Gastonia got the scoring started in the first inning. First 2 guys got aboard and both brought home on an RBI single, 2 RBI single from Jason Rogers, gave the Honey Hunters a 2-0 lead. They double it 1 inning later, a 2-run home run from Ryan Jackson. It's 4-0 at that point. 3rd inning, the Rockers get on the board themselves. They pick up 1 run. Actually, they got 2 runs rather on the 2-run home run from Johnny Field. Made it 4-2. At that point, Gastonia gets 1 back in the 5th inning. Mike Osinski doubles. He comes around a couple hitters later on the Mike Pappy sacrifice fly. The score is 5-2. We go to the 7th inning, and the Rockers start to get something going. Giovanni Alfonso goes to 3rd base on a swinging bunt right back to the mound. The pitcher throws to Jonathan Herman, threw it into the outfield, and Alfonso ends up at 3rd base on the error. Stuart Levy would walk. J.R.D. Sarcina brings in 1 run with the single. We go around to Johnny Field, who walks, and then a ground out from Mitchell brought in a run. That made it 5-4. Then Quincy Lattimore brought 2 runs in with an RBI single, and the Rockers led it 6-5 at that point. They scored 4 runs in the 7th, so they decided, hey, we'll double it in the 8th inning, 4 more. The Rockers would pick up. First, Stuart Levy would walk in, as well as Johnny Field. Jared Mitchell brings in Levy with a base hit. Lattimore brings in Field with a base hit. And then Jerry Downs brings in Mitchell and Lattimore both on a double to make it 10-5. Gastonia got the final run of the ball game in the top of the 9th inning. Alexi Amarista goes to 3rd base a couple of batters after he singled and would come in and score on Jason Rogers' RBI single to make it 10-6, but with Kyle Halbon on the mound, Gastonia got no closer, and the Rockers win it 10-6.
Final time of the game, 3 hours and 18 minutes in front of an attendance of 1,550. Time to go around the Atlantic League one final time, brought to you by Ginny Morrow Cruise Planners. West Virginia stays just a game back of the Rockers, a 16-8 win over Lexington. Augie Silk gets back above 500 in the win column, 8-7. Henry Owens with the loss falls to 3-4 in the North Division. York minus Darian Sanford after he's traded to Lexington earlier today. Get a 13-6 win over Lancaster. Augie Rodriguez gets the win, improves to 5-3. Dominic DiSabatino, the loss, falls to 9-6. Long Island and Southern Maryland has gone final. Darren Downs, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts. Gets the win to improve to 3-4. Maisel Silverio, the loss, falls to 1-6.
Well, for the Rockers today, they improved to 50-40 overall. They improved to 19-11 in the second half. And for Gastonia, they fall to 42-47. Puts them at now 15-16, below 500 in the second half. Jonathan Crawford, the win, goes to 2-0. Jonathan Herman takes the loss, falls to 0-2. Time to hand out a game ball for today. For me, I'm going to give it to Quincy Lattimore. Starts the day 0 for 3, but then when push comes to shove, his last 2 at-bats, a 2-run single and a 1-run single in the 7th and 8th innings, respectively. He was a huge catalyst in the Rockers' comeback tonight.
I'm going to go with Jonathan Crawford. He's the reason why the Rockers won this game come the end of the day. He comes through 2 big innings, strikes out 4, doesn't allow a hit, picks up the win, and on the heels of what's been just a great week for the Crawford family, his older brother Cutter making his major league debut, Jonathan comes out and puts together probably one of the best performances we've seen from him all season long.
Tomorrow night, game 2 of the series between the Rockers and Honey Hunters, and 7:05 first pitch tomorrow night. It'll be on the air at 6:30, YouTube at 6:50. It's COVID Heroes tonight. Let's try that again, COVID Heroes Night. If you have a valid medical ID or first responders ID, show it at the box office. You get a free ticket. Javik, final thoughts here tonight as the Rockers come from behind and win.
they just continue to dominate Gastonia in every single way possible. And honestly, at this point, it's pretty impressive how much they just seem to win at all costs against Gastonia. They were getting one hit through 6 innings and come back and win by 4, and it's not even a safe situation. So the Rockers continue doing their thing. It's nice to get some confidence back because they're going to need it coming into this weekend against West Virginia. So you want to do your business against teams you know you can beat. And if the last 3 weeks have shown anything, the Rockers very capable of taking down Gastonia in a big way.
6 straight wins against the Honey Hunters. This one in dramatic come-from-behind fashion in the late innings. Rockers score 8 unanswered runs to come from behind and take it 10-6. And I think the big thing today is your usual guys like Tommy Lawrence, when they can't get it done, somebody else is there to pick up the slack. And today was the Rockers bullpen that really got the job done. Final score here tonight, the Rockers 10, the Honey Hunters 6. We'll be back tomorrow, 7:05 first pitch. We're on the air at 6:30. That'll do it for us tonight. For everybody down in the control room and the Rockers Baseball Network, as well as Javik Blake, I'm Kendrick Fruit saying have a rockin' evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for Game 2 of the series.